Oh,
Beautiful
my.
GC.
Oh, my.
Beautiful GC for Pier to send him off to his final stock. Pier in the lead. Remember, this is 2-0 in a best of 5, so if Pier wins this game, he advances.
Yeah, and I think this is definitely something that not a lot of people saw coming because, again, Experience is technically the higher seed at seed 16 and Pier at seed 17. But Pier is putting on an absolutely dominant display early on, almost now with a full stock lead in game number 3. So, I mean, serious, what's it going to take for Experience to find a way to get back in this matchup?
Listen, Rain, we've got to see those Scythe games. We've got to see him do some crazy stuff off stage, and we've got to see him take a lead. He's got to take a little bit of a risk. We saw a lot of confidence, Experience on his final stock right now, taking some damage. We saw a lot of confidence from him in the first 2 games. He was showing great mastery of the Scythe.
Oh,
is that enough?
That might be exactly.
Oh, he makes it back. He makes it back. Oh, and another one, perfect. All right, this is it. We want to see a 0 to death from Experience. Bring back that confidence we saw in the first 2 games, which he seems to have lost a little bit in this third one. But he's got it. Big stomp side air from Pier.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we were looking for, right? So now with Pier over here on the edge, Pierre's literally 1 hit away from confirming this KO. But the thing about Experience, we talked about it. Experience has to find a way to get these, KO confirm options off stage. But we finally saw Experience get it that time, but it might just be a little bit too much too late.
Yeah, and Experience is playing a little careful right now. He's not engaging too much. He's staying on the offstage, and Pierre's kind of giving him the room. I think a lot of it is respect, but a lot of it is also he knows he's in a good position. He can kind of just chill. It's in the final stock. It's in the red. Experience building up some damage with those sidelights. Pierre not taking the bait though. He's not going for it.
Yeah, Pierre knows that Pierre does not need to go off stage. Pierre can just take the time. I mean, you have Hammer, right? 1 Nair will confirm the KO. A Dare can confirm the KO, especially
nice little
now.
Scoop too.
A Sair, even a Stomp Sair would hit it. And the end light still not enough. But now pretty much any move that comes out now from Pierre will guarantee the win.
Well, but look, it looks like Experience is on stage. He's got it. I mean, he can build it up. Ooh, the weapon throw not connecting, and it's enough. Nice little haymaker. Pierre takes the set 3-0. Beautiful playing by both players.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous, dude. What? Like Pierre with the 3-0, match number 1?
Yeah.
Just having such great, fantastic calculated gameplay. And just ultimately what we saw was the ability to confirm those KOs. And you look at the damage breakdown, literally doing 100 more damage. And the thing I loved about Pierre too, sir, is that Pierre got it done with both weapons. It wasn't just relying on one, it was both.
Right. Definitely. And I mean, we see that right here. Pierre's got 191 on the axe, 273 on the hammer, whereas Experience is 329 on the scythe, only 73 on the gauntlets.
Who's going to be facing up against LX? This one, these two have fought against each other quite a bit. It is a 19-12 set count in favor of Fiend. These two have played so many matches. Recently at Coliseum, going in favor to... okay, that was Grand Finals reset. So it was a reset for LX, but then Fiend ended up taking the dub earlier in the bracket. Then Coliseum 10, 3-2. These matches are so close on both sides of the things. I know we see Negan, I know we see the Jaeyoon, but potentially it might not be that. We could see a Suri, we could see a couple other characters as well.
I was just about to say, like, as interesting as the Jaeyoon pick has been today, I feel like the Asuri is just going to be so much stronger because it's going to allow for a lot of that rush down play, a lot of that fast-paced play that we've been noticing a lot of in this BCX.
Well, as we get into that, as we wait a little bit, hopefully everybody's having a fantastic Sunday. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the action at home. Make sure you follow the channel, not just here at Pro Brawlhalla, but Brawlhalla 365. That's where you're going to catch a lot of this action. So make sure you support as much as you can. Again, my name's Skiff. This is Ajax and Hangman. Make sure you give them some support as well. Hopefully you guys are also enjoying your Sundays because man, I'm having a great time casting with the three of you. Talking to myself too, apparently.
Look, man, when you start speaking in third person, look, the thing is, okay, if you talk to yourself, fine. It's when you start answering yourself, that's when you're crazy. So, so we'll be keeping an eye on you, Skip. But chat, like you said, I hope we're having a great time. I hope you're having a great time. We have it open. I hope you're all having a wonderful time here for BCX. It is South America. It is such an incredible bracket that we're seeing so far. So many people, like we was just saying, the Brawlhalla stream. There was West going on a little while ago, which I was trying to get a peek of because I love watching that Ragnar, but I couldn't watch it because we were watching this. Let's give a couple updates on the bracket while we're here. West versus Monexo is going on right now. Fiend Alex coming up next for us. Power Ranger 3-0ing Loras. in moving forward after we saw that Use is gonna, so it's gonna be Power Ranger versus Use, kind of taking it 3-1 over Dexter. Who else do we got here? And that's all that's been reported. Baltazar versus Alzo is going on right now as well. So, and right now that's Baltazar up 2 games over Alzo. So, still a lot of great matches to go here today.
Oh, for sure.
We're going to be seeing some good play today. Like, I've been very impressed so far, and also one thing that I'm enjoying is character variety. Seeing a lot of players pick around various legends.
Yeah, like we just came off of EU, so we saw a healthy dosage of Hammer, a lot of Axe. But here so far, obviously Sword is gonna be dominant. But I am so happy because look at that skin.
Yeah,
It's actually going to be. It's going to be Negan. It's going to be the J-Unit. And that is a gold Lucille, baby. Versus Hattori. I love the icon, too. The Hattori coming out there with the CEO Dreamland icon right there. But look at this. Coming in, has been at the top before. PR number 7 has won before. Understands what it is. World champion of 2020, as a matter of fact. So, coming in with this Negan. With the J-Unit, we saw the Great Sword play a little while ago. It's going to be about how well you can play on a grounded game. You want that big damage, which is going to be leaning me towards believing we're going to be trying to push for Small Brawl Haven, Demon Island, or Small Mammoth Fortress. However, it is Fiend's bans, so let's see if he actually leaves them open. So far, we see Small Enigma gone, Great Hall, and Miami Dome. So it looks like we're going to avoid platforms here, and Small Brawl Haven is going to be gone.
All right, well,
Yep.
Looks like we're going to Mammoth Fortress. This is a pretty neutral pick, I feel like, for the most part. So I'm not surprised that we're going to be going here for our game 1 at all.
Absolutely not. And like we said before, has been there before. Fiend also has 12 first places attached to that name. You got to get there by being good. As we get here into game number 1 of Fiend versus LX.
Okay, well, there we go. Gonna get right to that spear play. Kind of similar to what we saw last set. Gonna be using that spear to really kind of control a lot of space, get some nice clean combos. The thing is like, when the spear's not in hand, you've got the sword, which is just as capable, if not more, of doing almost all the same, plus a little bit extra.
Yeah, finding control out of the sword play is going to be more in the matter of how well you can dominate the airspace, both above the stage as well as that off stage, finding those reversals potentially, because Greatsword, while it's going to offer so much power and a decent amount of control in its own right, it's not going to be doing that off stage as effectively. That's where that sword mirror is going to be very prominent between both of these players, but right out the gate, Fiend looking really good with being able to rack up damage with no problem, and seems to be on board to be able to secure that first KO just like that.
Absolutely coming in, getting the SIG, closing it out. Such a strong SIG from Hattori. Covers so much range. It's so strong. It's just quick, just very swift to deal with things in general. But you gotta watch out for that Vampire Bat, baby. It is such a strong option. But the Crowbar, I love the Crowbar skin for the sword. It's so great. Trying to find himself a D-Light recovery or just a straight up recovery to find the KO off the top. You gotta watch out for D-Light Seraph also as well. This is still very much a position where LX can just even this right back up.
Yeah, so I think about part of the problem for that first stock, I mean, we are going to see LX take it, but the problem is that Fiend was basically denying LX from having any other weapon except the Greatsword, and when you have not just the spear, which is pretty fast, but also the sword to kind of just really find a way to rush down and get these interruptions on anything LX is really trying to get going, that was a bit of a problem. Also kept them a bit weapon starved, but as soon as we saw that Crowbar come out, they were able to even things up here just a little bit, but look at this combo, man!
Oh
Fiend!
my god! Not one, but two. Going for Sidelight, D-Light into GCD Light, Sarah. Just the way that Fiend is pushing right now. But here comes the big weapon toss. Dun, 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 dun. Trying to find that landing recovery. Not going to get the KO off the top, though. And that is just going to miss as Alex just almost got the lead.
Oh! Woo! You spoke too soon. We're going to be finding the lead, although it's off of an amazing read from Alex. And there, I think, what Skip brought up with the idea of weapon starving was really potent in that first stock from Fiend, because you don't have to worry about the conjunction of Sword and Greatsword if you're just denying all of that space. You'll be able to react accordingly, exactly as we're seeing there from Fiend. But when Alex has that opportunity to be able to keep the pressure on with Sword and then take out the firepower of the Greatsword, that's where it's a big problem for Fiend, especially Fiend is caught out without that spear.
I'm sorry, that last stock was so funny looking. You saw Alex try to come back in with the Sarah to keep himself safe, and then just got poked in the face by Fiend. Like, no, get back off. You're looking kind of stupid. Like, these reads, though, all looking brilliant. And I love the way Fiend, we've seen this like 4 times now, where Fiend will weapon toss down as a check to approach. You see that a lot more at the high level. There it is again.
There it is, yeah.
Just, like, I don't want you to jump at me, and I know you got to commit pretty hard to kind of some laggier options with Lucille. It's going to be harder for you to get in, but finally throws on Olay looking for the sword.
And there we go. We got another sword. Really just kind of keeping LX on this great sword. I mean, it might be that LX prefers this anyway. And honestly, look at that. You see a couple strong hits. And oh my god, they were trying to get the mix-up, trying to find a way to close it out. Honestly, one more hit with Lucille here. That should probably be lights out on this first game.
Oh my goodness, the first one's free, baby.
You
Gonna catch him off the top. I am so sorry. I dressed up as Negan during Halloween, and I got to make a bunch of references. Now here, I get to make a bunch more references. It's so good. Right, that first game was looking very much in control of the Hattori, of the spear. As the game went on, though, woke up was LX. That greatsword play just worked so well. As you can see, put an extra point into that damage too. Wants to make sure that he's finding it, as we see a little bit extra in the lifespan of Hattori too, realizing the problem here.
Hey, I do want to say, real quick though, Negan did nothing wrong. I just want to say that, you know.
Hey, all right, look. Well, okay, all right.
An interesting analysis from Skip.
Okay, so hang on.
Negan could have went about it a different way.
Let me point that out. That was only for the first episode that he popped in. Okay, after that, I don't know. I don't know anything that happens with Negan.
He's done a lot of questionable things.
Oh, okay, never mind. Maybe he's done a lot wrong. I don't know. He did. Listen, all I'm saying is he did tell them, hey, play by the rules or things happen. All right, that's all I'm saying. That's all I was trying to say.
All right, well, right now it's on Alex and Delphine to play by the rules. See if we can try to take this game back, as we're going right back to Small Mammoth.
I'm not too surprised. The way that game was so even. Fiend actually had a pretty good lead for a good while. They're catching Delight Seer, just keeping that damage up. But it's like, you know that LX is gonna go for strong commitments off side lights, so you just can whiff punish a lot easier here. Whereas with the platforms, you're kind of setting yourself up in a pretty uncomfortable spot. Multiple stairs though, trying to get him on the way back up. Weapon touch just to finish the deal. Have that, thank you. Great stock from Fiend.
The weapon throw from out deep just looked comical, but was so well placed from Fiend.
All right, and as we see here, it's going to continue to put on some good pressure.
Yeah, just keeping that damage up right now, getting access to the right back to the greatsword, and now this is still very much a comfortable lead for Fiend here. As we see a big stare, I don't think you're making this one back. You got to use our resources. Going to be covered. Oh, just get the oh my god! If you showed me a chart of do they make that back, I would not have believed that.
Oh my god, they had to have touched like the last possible pixel of that stage to be able to survive, and also taking a stock with it, maybe. I don't know.
He slid underneath. Oh, there's a big stock coming in. Gonna close it out off the side is LX. Frank, how you feeling so far about
I'm feeling like LX just made borrowed time look so good. Coming back from near disaster, turning it all around to a KO to tie up. But that doesn't mean that LX is out of danger just yet. Still in the red, being very much on the hunt for this KO. And I think being getting a little brazen for that hunt is causing a lot of damage to get built up that otherwise doesn't have to be while Spear is in hand.
Oh, so good, though, using that D-Light into Sarah Skiff. It's just, oh, big dominant hit from that down air right there. Is going to find the dare, going to find the hit. And that's going to give Fiend a very short lead. However, we saw this kind of similar in the last game, and LX ran it back.
Yeah, right now, Fiend is doing a really good job. Probably dropping that first game, really not wanting to at all. So they're probably trying to turn this up here a little bit more. You can notice that they're getting in here with these combos a little bit better. Kind of converting on some stuff too, like we saw in that first stock, right? Putting them way out there and throwing that weapon toss, just kind of knowing, hey, I know you're going to be at this spot right here, and this is why you're not going to make it back.
Alex really caught out without any answers while being unarmed, though. Managing to get that signature greatsword and put it to good use. Immediately going to find the KO afterwards. Got a little bit of the weapon starve, but opting to stick on the greatsword, which makes a ton of sense. Lucille putting in all the work this game.
Like you said, no exceptions. This lead is no exception. Is all gonna go ahead and get quite a few hits, but D-Light Seer gonna put him deep off stage and see if Alex can get the wall touch. He does. Comes back on aggressively to get himself in with the nair. Now what does Fiend do? As a response, we saw this before where Fiend had a lead and kind of overcommitted, but D-Light Seer, not enough just yet. It might be the weapon toss. And just putting himself out there as a body,
fear.
forcing him to fade back. Yeah, you had to, because if you just jump in, you're getting ground pounded there. That was so well played by Fiend.
Yeah, honestly, it's what you need to see after dropping game 1, right? Especially when you're being the player who's ranked higher. We need to see that you're definitely still in this game, and that was 100%, without a doubt, a show of power from Fiend, just really dominating. But it got a little too close at the end, right? We saw LX, like, they've been opting to use this greatsword, and we see why now, right? This greatsword, once it gets a couple of those strong hits in there, it just takes 1 or 2 more hits after that, and it just takes over. It just deletes stocks.
That's the problem solver right there. Been looking really good behind Alex, and on a smaller space, I think it's going to put in even more work. Like, we've already seen the sword play from Alex has been looking fine, but the spear play from Fiend, I think, has been nullifying a lot of what that sword can typically give. Great sword, though, I think is going to have a lot of impact for this one.
Good job from Fiend not getting caught by that same mix-up. We saw D-Light dare into Sair on a dodge read last game, too. So Fiend starting to catch onto the habits of LX, and for good reason. Like, you stare down Fiend, you look at this bracket, Fiend is one of the people you expect to be in grand finals. Like, this is PR number 2, maybe seed number 3, but it is, like, Fiend has been so consistent for so long with the Satori. You gotta expect him to make his way back there. As the way we've been seeing him play so far has been pretty solid. Even after giving up that first game, has really started to figure things out here, Skiff.
And as we can see, this greatsword coming into play a little bit. Lucille almost being able to close it out. He's been going for that mix-up time and time again. We're sitting that one hit and then trying to turn around and spike them the other way and just not able to get it to connect yet. Fiend barely surviving by the skin of their teeth at the moment.
Yeah, I think Fiend trying to play a lot more evasive has been proving to be very valuable, especially with big raids like that. Fantastic play.
We saw that before too. D-Light into GC D-Light Sair. That time nets the KO. I am loving these extensions from Fiend. Just getting these jump reads from LX over and over. But right now, gonna find the dare, and he fed him spaghetti. He does get himself back on though, and tries to go for a big ground pound to reverse it though, and misses out.
Hey, I respect that one, right? You're already, like, fairly into the red at that point, right? You either able to close out the stock, look like a genius, or you just happen to lose a stock that's probably already on its way out as it is. And, you know, it's not that bad of a scenario, but look at this. Getting right back into the fray of things, putting out some good damage immediately, getting some nice spear combos. Weapon toss isn't going to connect, but hey, you know what? That's what we got hands and feet for.
Yeah, the unarmed play looking pretty good whenever it does pop up for Fiend. Although, making sure that those situations aren't very long, immediately going to opt to grab the sword when available. I do think Alex does need to try to focus more on weapon starving because we're seeing so much of this strong weapon play from Fiend. Like, sword and spear combo just being so good to maintain control.
I think the only part of it is because Alex doesn't want to get off greatsword. Like, Alex's sword play has been solid, but Fiend's spear play has just been beating him out every time. But speaking of that spear beating him out, catching him off of the D-Light Sair into a jump read Sair one more time, one more again, run it right back. Fiend has just been controlling this so well, Skip, as he finds a couple of nairs and just puts Alex in a very uncomfortable spot once again.
And there we go, gonna be tossing that sword, just that crowbar, just trying to chase Fiend down to the other side of the stage, trying to get a little bit of damage on there, but then we got that great sword. That one won't be enough, and you gotta be careful chasing them all the way out like that, because if you get caught underneath the stage, right, and Fiend decides they want to be super aggressive, we're in that same scenario we saw in the last stock, where they feel like, hey, you know what, I can be a little greedy out here, because if I lose this stock, then I'm probably gonna lose anyway. I mean, that just is what it is, but if I get the stock out of here, I am brilliant, and look at this brilliant edge guard. Will be enough? It will be. Oh my god.
That was so good. We have not seen the D-Sig pretty much come out at all from Fiend this whole time, just kind of just chilling, waiting for you to try and do something silly. And then as soon as it came out, boom. We saw a lot of center stage neutral sig reads coming in from LX as well, trying to get some jump reads. Did not work. Now the switch up here, there's some gauntlet play to Cassidy to get the consistent KOs as well from the hammer. Switching it up to Crystal Temple, it could potentially be the last match in winner side of LX, Frank.
Now, do you think the Blesser's going to have any big impact here against Fiend, because I'm not too certain they're going to be able to slow down the sword play, nor match the level of control that the spear has been able to provide Fiend throughout this entire set.
It immediately was answered. Like, Skip was saying, hey, look, you're a little bit too smart at this. As soon as it came out with the Blaster's sword, 3 to 4 reads was forced to drop them and decided to switch up to the hammer. I honestly, like, that neutral sync is such a good anti-air coming in from casting to a hammer. But outside of that, like, with the Blasters in this match, Skip, I'm not sure if it's going to really make a huge difference.
I mean, it definitely remains to be seen. It was one interaction. I'll give LX the chance to try and prove us wrong once more. But yeah, it definitely does seem a little bit weary, a little bit scary. However, and that's going to be a huge stock there for Fiend to get things started. You do have the hammer, which honestly just seems to be a more fluid weapon than the greatsword at the moment. You feel like you can try to answer and some things a little bit cleaner. But again, we have to see if they can get that combo game going, because hammers, listen, against fast moves or weapons like this, hammer can do some neat things, but like, I'm going to need to see a little bit more.
100%. And now speaking of that hammer, trying to find a dodge back read with Stomp Sarah, as we all know, everybody's looking for it. You got to find that one big hit. GC Stomp is probably coming pretty soon. Trying to find a nair off the top instead, but still pretty low in health, but that doesn't really mean much to hammer. That neutral sync just missed. Like, oh, that one is going to connect though, does not get the KO off the top that they're looking for. That one should do it though, as we get LX getting himself on the board.
Hey, if you miss once, try again, able to get that stock. Even things up here just a little bit, but wait, we got a little bit of a start here. Not gonna be able to even it up in damage, but definitely, you know, just getting a nice little start.
Yeah, that's how you get the ball rolling, and also the weapon starts, keep the hammer in play, and also keep Fiend from having anything available, because right away, almost on cue, the sword finds its way to Fiend's hands, and that's, I think, exactly what Fiend needs in order to neutralize all the pressure from the hammer, because the hammer's so powerful, but it's on the slower end. Fiend has great responses to that, and tried to get a little mixy with it.
Yeah, it was so strong. I'm very surprised that that GCD Light Sarah didn't KO as well. You know, like, it's crazy watching the way that Fiend has just been navigating around, but the neutral sync catching the anti-air, and Fiend found another one, LX found another one, but Fiend coming back in hot. Actually been getting boxed out a bit, but the recovery off the top. Also, that KO. Why is a T-Rex in the skies? I don't like this universe. I'm out of here if that's going to be the case.
That's your problem with the universe, a T-Rex in the sky. Never mind all the other things we've been seeing all day today. All right, buddy.
Look, man, I draw the line at being eaten alive, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Either way, though, we're going to see if LX can find a way to turn this around. We do have Fiend in the red, right? And we're finally starting to get some of this gunplay going. I feel like they've actually opted to throw these guns out. Look at this. It looks like things are starting to kind of make sense. Yeah,
the Blasters are actually starting to look a bit better here as it's been going on. Trying to find a D-Light, though, is Fiend. We saw those D-Lights working so well. Look for Big Sarah, but LX is just playing right out of range, and the recovery does take it out off the top. So all of a sudden, LX looking a bit better here. Decent amount of damage on. You have to avoid some of these quick D-Light strings, Frank, if he wants to stay in it, as we've seen Fiend has been so good at, but does find some neutralites and getting the damage on.
I'll be honest, LX's approach to this weapon combination is not what I was expecting, because it seems like LX really heavily relying on the hammer to build up the damage, but it's not going to be enough to secure the KO faster, as Fiend is going to be able to take that one out.
586 to 421, the control of the pace of the game that we saw out of this Hattori, out of Fiend, it's just been so good. Fiend's just been so consistent at not just getting the spear strings, but the sword strings as well. And a lot of these are off of reads. Like, he's not just going for the simple 1-2 punches of D-Light Sarah, D-Light recovery. He's going for big reads of D-Light recovery into D-Light into GC D-Light. Just keeping it going over and over and over again. But we're going to see a switch up here on both sides of that matter. Actually, no, I'm not. Excuse me, I forgot that was 3-1. That is actually the end of that match. But let's see how things go here with the first game. It's in fact not going to be that. It's going to be the Diamond Head coming in from Fozy with the Gauntlet Guitars. And on the other side of Knees, let's see what Knees decides to go with. Actually, no, never mind. It's actually not. He's just messing with us. Yeah, that was a big tease. Let's see what it is. But we do see the Mordex commitment coming in from Knees. Which, honestly, with the way that the Mordex looked in that last match, I do not disagree with this whatsoever.
Yeah, no, and Mordex seemed to be a popular pick across plenty of players. Like, the Legend's just looking really good right now, especially when you consider, not even just like Mordex specifically, Scythe. I've been noticing a lot of Scythe out of this BCX. So, having that at your disposal against King Knight. So we're going to see Sword and Rocket Lance.
Senor Roland, King Knight coming in with the Rockets, the Rocket Lance, and the Sword. A lot of Sword play today. Or is that what you're actually going to pick? We keep seeing Fozy bouncing off. Fozy keeps, you can't see it, but Fozy has picked like 7 characters so far, and we can't see who he's committing to. So far, it's sitting on King Knight. We're going to wait to see if it's actually it this time. But meanwhile, in the head-to-head, Knees is up 2-1 in the head-to-head right now. And that has gone to, those have been very close, including recently at 3-1 at the Mammoth Invitational. So we saw, we actually saw the Cross and the Rayman come out in the Europe in the Mammoth Invitational, and then on the other side we saw the Yumiko and Teros coming in from Fozy. So let's see how things go here in game 1. It is in fact going to be the commitment to the King Knight as we get here in game number 1.
All right, very curious to see how this works because we saw a somewhat similar dynamic earlier on when we first saw Nice against Flamethrower, and the Mordex proving to be valuable in being able to rush down and keep the very consistent pace right in their face. Here, against Fozzy, we'll see if the tools that King Knight brings to the table are able to change that dynamic, or if Solid and Scythes is just too good.
I mean, the big thing is those SIGs. Those SIGs are massive from King Knight. They are a problem. But the problem also is the Mordex with those Scythe reads, catching in there, trying to catch another one, does get back, does touch grass and able to get back down on the ground, but Knees kind of struggling a bit to do the same. This is exactly what we saw to start off in the previous set as well. Crystal Temple was round 1. There's that big SIG I was talking about a second ago that you have to watch out for. Fozy will definitely be looking for GC SIGs to find jump reads out of Knees if he overcommits a little bit too hard.
Absolutely agreed. Although I feel like the offstage play is still going to be able to favor Nice, especially while Scythe is in hand, and that's just what we've been seeing so much of from Nice's Mordex. Almost getting the item throw as well, but no dice on that. Get re-equipped, get ready to fight the Rocket Lance.
Yeah, Nice's weapon tosses have been on point all day that we've seen so far too. Oh, trying to catch a big nair. Fozy trying to make Nice pay for it. That's the big thing with Rocket Lance. You commit too hard off stage, you can get reversal much like that. The weapon toss into recovery unarmed is not going to do it. But here comes D-Light into recovery soon. Trying to go for the big sig read though. That's what I was talking about at the very beginning. That's such a scary thing to worry about from King Knight.
I guess one thing to keep into consideration is knowing when to respond to it accordingly. Alright, really good survival on Knees. And the deep red is both players, but no KO to be found just yet.
Yeah, one of these two is going to get KO'd by accident at this point. Like, they are so deep, but that one still not going to get the KO off the top. Oh my goodness, the Sig will find the hit though, and taunting on him, showing him the throne real quick, just letting him know where he belongs and trying to move forward in this W. But Niche trying to make him pay for it, trying to catch him with the recovery off stage, trying to go for a big ground pound, trying to look for early recovery already, but the weapon toss finds it, and then the immediate taunt back. I love it.
Like I said, you gotta keep it classy out here in the BCX. Like, you made it here, you're trying to prove to everyone that you could win it, but when everyone else is also playing the same way, you just gotta one-up every chance you get.
Absolutely.
We've had a very neck-and-neck opening to this set so far.
Yeah, you see, Knees is not playing around whatsoever. Trying to find these sidelights into big nair reads, just trying to catch the early gimps as much as possible. Looking for D-Light, not going to get it right there. Does catch it that time though. Does not read the dodge away.
Just
big
very
Sig.
steady bouts, but the Sigs have been so huge for him. He's just trying to occupy as much space as possible.
Exactly, Frank. Like, the control of the platforms has gone back and forth too, but big nair comes in for Niche, trying to find a dare off stage, does not get it. But like, this is another one of those big back and forths. Oh, trying to find a big dare right there, but gets reversal, looking for the weapon toss, finds the ground pound. Goodbye, sir. Go ahead and have a seat.
This has just been a fantastic performance out the gate from Fozzy. Like, the sword control, I almost feel like that's starting to become the name of the game for today's block, for this BCX. It's been the sword control has been so good at being able to respond to rushdown and keeping a very specific tempo. And Fizz has been playing it out beautifully, but He's ain't no slouch, trying to make something happen unarmed.
That's a huge reversal. That's a huge reversal. What are you doing on stage with me right now? Who said you could commit that hard to trying to find this edge guard? And that was incredible. You know, something we haven't seen much today, Frank, has been the Rocket Lance. And you know who just piloted it beautifully? Ozzy. Absolutely incredible reverse edge guard right there. Weapon toss into the ground pound. Go ahead. Get down there.
Like, Knees didn't have to be there. It didn't have to end like that. But Fuzzy saw the opportunity and took it. That was just such a good stock played.
Big, get that Asuri off the graphic now. But it's all about King Knight, baby. This King Knight is looking beautiful as this match has continued so far. But we're gonna see a switch off to the Val.
Ooh.
Another switch off, going to the Val here. I like the idea because the scythe worked so well for you in the other match. This one, not so much. And even with the platforms too, a lot of it was Fozy realized how aggressive Knees is off stage. She was like, okay, fine. Speaking of, going for the early one here, I look like Pavelski trying to go deep. Problem is Pavelski is one to give a stock away in those situations. It might happen here if Knees doesn't get back on.
No, that was a very bold way to start game 2, although I like it. Ground pound to respond accordingly. Fozy's still out here trying to make something of all of this.
Oh, almost catches the...
Just right out the gate. So big for both players.
They have been so aggressive off stage. As we see them continuing it right now, both of them looking for big ground pound reads. Both of them looking for big GC side lights just to get a KO or snipe that jump. But this has been so even back and forth. I'm loving it. Right now, Knees deep in the red, so could lose the stock to D-Light recovery pretty much at any point. But now the Gauntlet's putting it at work, finds the dare, misses the dodge though.
That was so close to getting secured for Knees. But even though no KO to be found, it's still a lot of damage. And rotating right off the gauntlets, back onto the sword. Like, seeing the sword mirror, I think, is what's been a big deal here, because Knees manages to come out on top here in this game.
Catching another D-Light recovery there in center stage, catching Fozy slipping just a little bit, does not catch him with the honor recovery off the top. Now, switching it back over, let's see what we can do. Maybe sidelight, big read? Yeah, as we're seeing already, looking for sidelight, trying to catch a read as well as Knees, and that one is gonna be a big punish, but still no KO off the side. Fozy needs something fast, because we've seen how much these two are willing to scrap, and you do not want Knees to continue to hold on to this lead.
Yeah, that's a lot of ground just practically given away. Knees opting to play it out with no weapons, the very bold starve out Fozy, because you've been seeing combination both sword and rocket lance have been working out so well, but this, I feel like there hasn't been as much presence from the rocket lance here into game 2.
I mean, like, this weapon star from Knees was just so on point, finally getting access to it, but does get reversaled after going for the recovery read, looking for the Sair, not gonna get it, trying to find a sidelight, big ground pound attempt, misses out though, recoveries coming back on stage, there's a big Sair, still does not even matter, the weapon toss should finally do it though, there we go, Fozy gets himself on the board.
And chucks away the sword, just the weapon starve. Weapon starving seeming to be the name of the game between this set. We've seen it in bits and pieces throughout this block of BCX, but now we're starting to see it really become a strong dynamic shift.
Oh, wait a minute, hold up! Catching 3 big hits, incident there, getting multiple dodge reads. Fozy, even into damage, right back up here. Frank catches another Sair, just keeping him up. Okay, you want to keep jumping? I'm gonna keep smacking you out of the skies for it.
Hey, if Fozy heard me talking about how there's lack of rocket lance here in game 2, all of a sudden we got plenty of rocket lance.
It's working so well, trying to catch a neutral lights on the jump up, but Knees does get the reversal, misses the dare, just trying to find a nair on the jump up, but these Sairs from the rocket lance, the weapon toss, forces him to recover high. That was such a good frame trap, missed out though, looking for the big Sair, yep, missed it. Knees almost catching him with the nair, Fozy trying to catch him with the dare right now, both of them swinging, both of them trying to look for the touch, just get back on though, and the arm arms coming in, still able to get back to the gauntlets. That's gonna be a big punish right there. Can Fozy get the wall touch? Yes, he can.
Just commitments on top of commitments on top of commitments from both of these players. Just playing with absolute reckless abandon is working out so well, but Knees managing to take the KO.
Every time there's been a ground pound, the other one does not believe in going back up the stage. Oh, where are you going? Chasing him all the way down. Knees going a little bit too hard for it though. Knees wanted it so bad. He wanted that nair to get just that one more. And now because of that, it's back to an even game. Oh, that was
We've been seeing the value behind swordplay has been punishing over extensions. And what better way than to show it this way? Like, this has just been fantastic play on both fronts, but you gotta make sure that you rein it in a little bit.
Hey, you know what? So, like I said earlier, that out here looking like Pavelski, that will sure look like a Pavelski stock right there. Knees trying to just come in, catch those big hits, but does find a couple stairs, starts to put Fozy off to the side. Fozy has had some big damage though. Sidelight Nair catches him really quick to recovery, get that damage on. Every single bit like matters here, and you have the sword ditto at the end, so you just need to get to the red as quick as possible. But this Rocket Lance has put in so much work. Fozy getting him in an uncomfortable spot, but Knee's not really taking much damage for it.
Yeah, I think the Rocket Lance is putting in so much work just from like, a base analysis. It's just you're keeping the length and you're keeping the aerial pressure, things that Rocket Lance is just good at. But it's working out great in this situation because Knees is finding so many battles in the air. But Fozy's finding these battles on top.
Oh my god, and just the extra disrespect. You didn't even need to do the weapon toss. It wasn't even necessary, but you still find the hit regardless, and that is going to be Fozy taking it there. Incredible play from this King Knight. Like the biggest thing so far has been the commitments from Fozy, the huge offstage plays, that second stock leading to the self-destruct have just not worked. They have not worked in the way that you would expect. And because of these the attention to detail from Fozy, not going off, like not committing so hard, like, oh, there's your jump, cool, now you're gone. Those stairs are so massive from the Rocket Lance. And something that was a big difference too, Fozy went for way less SIGs in that match, and it didn't even matter. And now we're seeing a switch to the Hattori here, Frank.
Ooh. Alright, so we have another dynamic shit. You're just trying to find the answers at this point.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Not the Hattori. It's going to be a switch off from Hattori actually to the Jaeyun. We're getting some great sword action coming in.
Ooh! We get a bit of a taste of everything today.
I am here for it.
EU's finest really trying to show their stuff today.
I love it. I love it. Honestly, for Knees, you better love it too, because you better figure it out. We're switching it off to Demons. Big position, like nowhere to run. Massive hitbox from the Greatsword. Big damage can come in, but will it be enough against this incredible Rocket Lance play? Because the sword has been great from Fozy too, but the Rocket Lance has just consistently found his stairs. He finds his sidelights into nairs. He's always finding a combo confirms. Just missed out on a recovery right there. You need to play on point here if your Knees to get yourself potentially back into set.
I think a big aspect of this stage pick that's really smart for this game 3 is going to be punishing any frivolous play off stage. You don't have as much wall to hug. I know it sounds like a very base assessment of the stage, but given how much we've seen the offstage play bouncing back and forth from the wall to that deep play, I think this was a really good pick.
Absolutely. I mean, you like right now being able to kind of play big. You looking for a big sig right there, not gonna get it. Trying to find a ground pound as well, trying to catch him off stage. Like the big difference here is that it's not gonna be as hard for you to find that straight hit KO that you couldn't really find before. It's just a little bit more like you put yourself in like easier whiff punish scenarios, which Fozy has had. So you might as well commit to finding the KO earlier if you can, because you've already been you've had that issue with the faster moves just prior.
Yeah, the Jaeyun pick I think is very smart too, because not only do you have like the pressure of the Greatsword all of a sudden looming over Fozy and proving to put in a lot of work for this game 3, but you also have the reliability of the sword, which again has just been the same note over and over. Being able to have that level of control is so important in these games, but right now it's the Greatsword we got to be talking about, AJ.
Absolutely. Oh, looking for the big sig, trying to catch some damage on there. Not really gonna just kind of establish fear in Fozy in this Jaeyun pick so far. Borrowed time on this stock right now, but it is working. And it's kind of changing the pace of things. It's not as rushdown heavy. But what was working for Fozy before was those big jump reads, baby. And after the weapon toss, catching them in the worst position possible, able to get the KO. And now Fozy starting to cruise a little bit here. You can definitely see the confidence in the movement, trying to catch him after that last stock. Needs to take that momentum back ASAP.
Yeah, listen, whether it's Mortix, whether it's Val, whether it's Jaeyun, one thing that has not changed is that Knees' willingness to overextend. Yes, you get to cash in big on those reads, but mispositioning against Fozy has proven to be nightmare material. The way that Fozy is able to punish any type of misspacing or lack of resources, especially when the Rocket Lance is equipped.
Oh, but does get a couple big hits. Oh, great stall with the recovery from the Rocket Lance, but not enough Knees does find him after the second one and gets the KO. Still holding on to a lead here. Pretty decent. Like, oh, wait a minute. Might be bar time lead for that. Good recovery, but not enough
that
yet.
lead? Where's that lead, AJ?
Same exact way. Same exact way. I'm sorry I spoke that to existence. Knees, you had a chance until I spoke about it. Now, commentator's curse coming through. Fozy getting himself back to even. We saw Fozy was way better at closing it out because, like you said, those overextensions. Knees needs to hold center stage and hopefully find a KO that way. Otherwise, I think it's curtains for this BCX run.
Just got to do something where you stand your ground. And, like, yes, Knees has been doing good at finding the reads, but putting yourself into these positions where Fozy goes for big punishes just because you didn't have to be there has been the name of the game since game 1.
Oh my
Here,
goodness.
Fozy's just completely dictating the pace of this match
That
now.
is the
Completely
third or
pushing
fourth
out.
one in a row, Frank, where he has gone for a jump Sair, and it has been met by Fozy spacing just out. Like right there, look for another one. Like, Fozy is so deep in the head. He is living fully rent-free in Knees' head right now. That time, though, Knees actually stayed grounded, does not get hit, and now actually reversing things up after finally finding a hit, getting himself deep into the red. We're going to last stock, last hit potential here right now.
And there was potential there for a huge read from Fozy, but a little bit of hesitation ends up getting that in a position where Knees puts himself on the board.
Knees finds the big jump read with that Sair deep off stage, and was pretty much nowhere where Fozy could go at that point. And the Jae-yoon counter pick ended up working out for Knees in the end. But that's not going to be what he sticks with. We're going to see a switch off again. But this time it's going to be the Koji. Knees just pulling out all the stops right now. Like,
hey, if that's what Knees needs in order to stay in, then by all means, bring out everyone. That's why you practice pockets.
yeah, I mean,
That's why you adapt.
you know what, honestly, in a way, I don't disagree with it entirely, because you look at the damage there, and the damage was so close. 504 to 548. It was so close between the two that it might have felt a little too close for comfort. The Great Sword put in work, but it was not enough. So maybe the switch here to the bow, finding those D-lights into D-Sig is going to be pretty huge. Or even just the jump D-Sigs will actually be a pretty good way to check Fozy for constantly swinging. Granted, Fozy finding a huge string right now, reading the jump away with the Nair 2. Straight to orange off of that one. Knees. All right, Knees, you better make this Koji look good, because right now Fozy out here still cruising.
Yeah, no, if Knees is going to have an opportunity to make Koji look good, I don't know if it's going to be in this stock, because Fozy is out for it right now, looking to find this opening KO, playing phenomenally with the rocket lance, but it looks like the attempt with the GC6, the item toss too? Alright, Fozy's here to stay.
You saw Knees trying to go for the GCD sig to get himself back to stage, still covered, and then the weapon toss after. Honestly, it hasn't even just been the characters, the swords. Every single time Knees has had a sword out, whether it be Jae-yoon, whether it be Koji, it doesn't matter. The sword has always been getting beat, and that is enormous. So this bow better put in some work. Oh my god, big reads once again. Knees just consistently getting this damage on. I mean, excuse me, Fozy just keeps getting this damage on. Well, we've barely seen any sword because there's no reason.
Oh, it's out now, whether you like it or not, from Knees. See what it's able to do, because time after time, Fozy's just finding these Sairs with no issue. But, okay.
Yeah, huge ground pound right there to seal the KO. Not taking too much damage there in the second stock. Does go pretty, took a couple quick strings, but did mitigate it. Trying to find a dodge read there with, trying to find a neutralize, just get some damage on. That is huge though, all of a sudden. The Koji looking good for about a half a second, did get himself some damage on.
Attempts to find these hits. I think the bow is a fantastic choice for being able to slow down the momentum here, because when Fozy finds these hits, it ends up getting followed up by another 3 to 4, and it just ends up being big damage. Look at that, almost threatening the kill, but no item toss there.
Yeah, keeping it going right now is in the favor of Fozy with a slight lead. We're pretty much in D-Light recovery range at this point, so you got to watch out on your landings here for your Knees. Trying to find a stray recovery right there, answering right back with one of his own, but Knees is playing very jump happy for somebody who's like in this range right now. Oh, good GCD sig to get himself back on, because otherwise that would have been it. Might be it here potentially for Fozy. Yeah, good reversal. Yeah. The GCD sig led to the Sair that ended up taking the stock away.
You know, slowly but surely, AJ, this Koji pick looking to be a really strong one, because for the first time in the set, we're seeing a very strong dynamic shift, where like Knees seems to have the tools he needs to play comfortably. But
The option coverage.
Posey's not out of it yet, especially not while that Rocket Lance is around to secure KOs.
that was so-
fantastic play.
That was so good. Recovery, weapon toss into follow-up stairs. Like, you are going nowhere. Go. I have a heat-seeking missile attached on you, and that is the name of King Knight's Rocket Lance. Trying to find him right there, but it's going to be very similar to what Fozy was able to do earlier. Gets a couple reversals, misses the big nair though. Knees. He had the jump read, but he didn't believe hard enough in it. Didn't go for any damage. Does find the GCD light into up air. Excuse me, nair. But like, it's not able to get much out of it.
You know, even with the less confident play, it's still a pretty tight battle. Like, Nice has not really been struggling with putting on damage, as we've seen in earlier bouts. And while Fozy's still playing sort of the same game, the fact that it's that much closer, I think, is a testament to the value in this Koji pick.
Yeah, I mean, look, the way things have gone all day, we've seen a couple of really good best of fives. Do we see another one? Do we see another potential really good run here? If Knees can take this out, Fozy's looked so good this whole time. D-Light recovery range for both, or D-Light Sair. There's a Sair right there. Knees already using 2 jumps. Goes for the dodge in, does get read by Fozy. Fozy looking for the big sig, does not get it. Does get the D-Light recovery though, and that is going to be Fozy shutting it down, preventing any more games. Shutting it down here, game number 4, preventing the game 5, and that is going to be Fozy moving forward in lowers bracket, keeping the BCX hopes alive.
That was very impressive reversal. I feel like the King Knight play was just superb all the way through. I was pleasantly surprised to see the Rocket Lance appearance, but then to see it have such a big appearance throughout this set, regardless of whatever set of tools were available, they just weren't enough for Nice to be able to take it out.
Yeah, that Rocket Lance was just the just game changer. Like the play from the King Knight, Mr. Roland himself, just keeping him in the worst positions possible. Anytime he tried to jump too much, it was called out. Anytime he tried to fade away Sair to catch Fozy off guard, it was called out. And then the offstage play, the weapon tosses were so on point. We saw a couple of weapon tosses up to prevent ground pounds too. Knees had some hope. It definitely showed up a bit there, especially in game number 3 with the Jaeyoon. But the Koji looked good for a bit. It just wasn't enough to take out Fozy at the end. Granted, if Fozy whips that, that's probably a GCD light recovery punish as well. It comes right in. But it was so even for a good portion at the end there. It's just going to be Fozy who moves forward. And ended a run from incredible play from these, though.
Yeah, no, it was very impressive. And I think he's really, like, made a name for themselves with how well they played and across a lot of different characters, but one thing that was consistent across almost all of them was the sword play, and that really did set the tone for a lot of what we've seen today.
Exactly. Now,
we're going to be seeing the pick to Bodvar from Seiju.
Yeah, so we'll see, obviously, what the other side is here, but as can often be the case. Okay, so you were right in some sense, by the looks of things. Because what we're seeing on our screen is the double Bodvar. So it is a double.
You wanted a little bit beefier? Well, you know what? Little tiny bit marginally, but still, this one's going to be pretty interesting. They're going to have a little bit more.
Yeah, I do feel, Bodvar obviously the classic, right? And we all know, and the face of the game in a sense. But that hammer plus the 6, I think especially at Bodvar does apply some of that beefiness. So we'll see what happens. But then you lose some of the, quick and nippy aspect that an Azuri has. But when it comes to 2s, people pull out many different things. This could just be a let's not show our hand quite yet. And if we go down a game or if it gets to 1-1, we can pull out something that we're a bit more comfortable with.
Gotta say, I really like the way that we just sort of, helping out the teammates, making sure that nobody is like getting hit a little bit too much. But exactly as soon as I said that, there was the decision to just use your teammate as a bit of a meat shield while you were hitting the opposing bot fight, but that's okay. Both of them just sort of going at it right now. They're just waiting. They're just trying to figure out and probe each other a little bit, just try to feel each other out right now.
Yeah, I think, okay, so I was going to say, I think the Zul can kind of afford to survive it because you dish out so much damage, and then we see that Sair come in, will eventually get taken out. This is actually really, really close, by the way, both teams losing a stock, and then the remaining 2 that are still on 3, both into the red, so really frightening stuff. Good catch by Siotic, and of course, no resources there for Fry, so going to get taken down. And now we have the lead for the Bodvars, but it is, like I say, very, very slim. Good catch coming in. They have a lot of synergy here. Perhaps for me and some of the games that I've been watching that played earlier, some of the best synergy of the evening actually coming out from Siotic and Saijuru. There we go.
Oh, trying to go all the way up there with the recovery, and now they need to find a way to be able to land aggressively. Is going to be able to do so with the downer right now. Both of them just ping-ponging off of each other so well, but because they were both grounded in that moment, occupying almost an identical space, that could be so dangerous with the opponent's attacks. Like, capable of hitting both of you guys simultaneously. And the person on the back line not always having the opportunity to cleanly hit the opponent, but excellent edge guard there, but needs to wait to be able to make it back on, and does so successfully. Really, really good save from their teammate.
Yeah, big money. Looking good. Again, though, it kind of hangs in the balance, you know, both heavily in the strength department for the side of Glassy and Friday Soul, so it could swing at a moment's notice. At the moment, not quite looking to be the case because they have this pretty heavy stock and HP lead. Starting to take 1v1, so that sort of synergy aspect that we talked about, you know, the team play aspect has kind of gone out the window a little bit while they're trying to work their advantage. Almost the isolation there onto Siotic. Saijuru?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I swear they had resources to get back on. We've had a bit of a disconnect in the middle of the game. That's why, you know, respawns and just runs off. So that's kind of sad, but I would feel like there's not an awful lot that we can do about it. And now Siotic, all of a sudden, the game has turned around, and we've got to find a 2v1 out of nowhere.
And this is still actually doable for Siotic. Both of them are going to be on their last stock right now in the green. You are going up against Hammer, so all that you need is one edge guard, but they're... Oh my goodness, that recovery might have been it, but then just drifting a little bit to the left. And Siotic going to be guessing the wrong direction for the opposing recovery.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame the way that we get here, but I think sometimes it is what it is. Siotic's done pretty well to survive this long, and I don't know, in terms of, you know, the confidence game and whatnot, if we can get one taken away here, that would be lovely, but not going to be the case. Of course, downlight into the Nair will finish it, so it's a bit of a shame, but that is the nature of the game, of course, and the online realm, etc., etc. Hopefully everything is good. For Seidru, you can maybe see, probably not actually, as we look into the stats, he has kind of dipped out for a second to sort things out, so played by a couple of individual issues. That's a little sad this evening, you know?
But yeah, going into game number 2, off of that, like, really unfortunate, like, really, KO on behalf of, I believe that was Seijuru. I feel like this is still really doable for the both of them. It was just, like, that one slight misplay, that just kind of ended up, you know, just costing them that game. So, I'm curious to see how game number 2 is gonna go.
Yeah, I think, it can kind of get in your head a little bit. I do feel that they were, for me, when everything was going well, the better team. But indeed, it can be a bit of a problem to bounce back when things out of your control occur. That being said, as kind of touched on, it was a very, very close game. Obviously, our first match, it kind of looked like it was very, very one-sided. I think the second game happens because M4Mini actually was able to free reign and work his way through and whatnot. Vocal, unfortunately, again, due to a few kind of personal issues, was not necessarily in the game and still has to build up that experience. Meanwhile, coming into this one, it is a lot closer. It just felt like Siotic and Seidru, which could come down to the map pick, right, had a lot more control there until, obviously, things go a little bit south. So, we'll see moving forwards. I do feel that Friday Soul and Glass certainly could have picked that one up in a more conventional sense as well. But for me, I don't know if you have any opinions on this. It just feels like for twos, their picks are a little wacky. These are solo picks can maybe work, but in twos, I think the Fate especially is just not quite suited for it. You know, the Orb, it's so... It can be fast in a 1v1 sense, but it ties you up for quite a while when you get into a string on the Orb.
I think the ranges that each of these weapons occupy is also, like, a little bit awkward, a little bit strange. They're not as forgiving as some other weapons, right? Because you got Scythe, you got Orb, and you got Cannon, comprising 3 out of 4 of the weapons for, Glass and Fry, which, require, like, sometimes, like, a little bit more precision, a little bit more accuracy, and just, like, having a very specific idea of space, whereas I feel like with Psiotic, whereas for Psiotic, it was just kind of like, both of them just like maybe have like a little bit more consistency. But honestly, the way that Glass and Fly followed up off of each other, they got some like really amazing like ping pongs, especially like with a lot of the grabs from Scythe. So they seem to make pretty effective use out of it, but it's just something that you need to have a good amount of precision with, and you really need to be focused on your positioning relative to the opponent.
All right, well, once again, we'll have to say thank you for your patience. We should, by all accounts, be back in relatively quickly here. Got to make sure that we're a little bit behind schedule. That's the way it goes, right? Just in case things get speeded up in these best of threes, and then it makes the break after our like block here. Dara, it makes the break a little shorter into the next one. So people got to be happy and always look on the bright side, as they say.
Yeah, so yeah, it seems like this actually might take a couple more minutes longer than originally anticipated, which is a little bit unfortunate. So once again, thank you to all my little pog champs for your patience. Hope you guys are having a lovely day thus far. Hope you guys are keeping yourselves hydrated. What are you drinking today? Got a bottle of water?
Yes, yeah, always. I'm a bottled water guy. I know that across the sea, that's kind of all you guys do, but we can drink tap water in this country. It's definitely doable, but I just not a fan, Bottled water, it does taste better. Bottled water does taste better. I won't hear it any different.
Damn, could not be me. The New York City tap water always the goat. So you will not catch me buying bottled water. So a little bit unfortunate on your behalf. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, we're trying our best to pad a couple of minutes. Try to figure out how this is going. In the meantime, I guess we could just take a quick little look at team stats, just see like what really differentiated them. It seemed like honestly, hit for hit, Psiotic and Sage were really like on point comparatively to Fly and Glassy, and was like hitting a lot more of those SIGs than they did. Because look at this, 75% out of the 4 hit, so they hit 3 out of 4 compared to 0% out of the 15 SIGs attempted by Fly and Glassy. So that was like a lot of big whiffs.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, when you're looking again at the picks that we have here, I don't know, for me in twos, I feel like the Zul SIGs are not really usable. In all honesty, again, they come out so slowly and they have so much end lag and whatnot. It can... Fate's got a little bit more in there if you can get some catches. The down sig on Orb is pretty nasty and whatnot. But yeah, maybe a few too many as well. That's leaving them a little bit vulnerable in places. So it's the fact that they're not hitting any and they're pulling out so many. But you can see here on the weapon damage, like the Zul particularly is kind of terrifying. 1 or 2 hits and it's like 50 damage, So it's pretty crazy. Either way, as you can see, we are back in a little faster than we were expecting. We were getting a little bit worried that they might run out of their tech time and all that kind of stuff that they get a lot of, but no, not the case. Hopefully now everybody is cool. Say a few prayers, and we should, touch wood. You guys say knock on wood, I think. I don't know why it's different for the UK, but there you are. We say touch wood, and we should be back in. Here we go.
Yeah, we're going to be jumping right into this. In a quick note, they did want to make us that something about like enchant versus SIGs. Sometimes they're just meant to like occupy space and force you to move a certain way around it, just by nature of being like really active, independent projectiles, right? But we are going to be jumping right into this one again. I feel like having, if you have double Bodvar, having both teammates like opt for Hammer can be like a little bit like, it might be a little bit too hot and cold sometimes, especially when they are getting rushed down by Glass and Fry, right? So having like, each weapon sort of compensate for each other's ranges can be really, really useful here.
Yeah, we'll see what the plan is to kind of opt for it. I think indeed they are maybe recognizing that a little bit. Lot of speed, and Seidru taking the front foot with the sword, and there, as it is, the edge guard in from Psyotic. Almost poetic. And you get the hammer thrown away.
Yep.
That's kind of a bit of denial, but I think also Seijiro wanting to stay on the sword here. And this looks really damn good, actually. Psyotic just into the yellow, and we've already had both first stocks taken away from the blue team.
They were both off stage in the same position against double Bodvar holding hammer. That feels like such a nasty place to be, because you are just completely out of room, out of options. But now they find themselves in a similar disadvantage. But what a high recovery on behalf of Searu. They were just able to get back on nice and easily, just stalling a little tiny bit. Both of them in really disadvantageous positions, having to land, but inevitably fighting their way back on. Look at these ping pongs.
Nasty, very, very nasty, and looking maybe that we might get them on a 2-stock lead, not just a 1. So there's a lot of danger here, and you can see the nerves kind of coming in a little bit. Weapon toss goes down from Fry, but it actually hits his teammate in the head. It's very, very messy in places for sure. Nice catch coming in though. We will get Seijiro down, and Psyotic looking a little close. Ooh, nearly, not quite. Oh, it's Fry with the disrespect though. A great catch, making sure no resources. That's as easy as it comes. And now we have a bit of a chance. If we can get some damage in here, extend these stocks, blue team could close the gap.
But you know what? One down and another one. That's all that it's going to take. And suddenly, from what was a 2-2, it's now both of them at 2 stocks against both of them at 1 stock. So this is looking so good for the Psyotic and for the Searu. They're just piling on this damage, they're perpetuating their advantage, they're finding all of those downlights. That is an indication that you are doing well as Hammer. If you're finding those downlights, then you're basically good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what they're aiming for an awful lot. We do see, again, these 6 coming out, a bit more success rate, I would say, but as compared to the double Bodvars, who do have some pretty good 6, not really seeing it as much, in all honesty. Looking really good here, as into the red go the blue team. Of course, still a stock in the lead. Bit of team damage there on the neutral, but should be all good here. Great find to take down Glassy. And now just Fry the Soul.
That's it.
Will also... okay, get
with
saved.
the recovery, and Searu
What's going
just
on?
barely... What just happened?
What?
Why? Why?
I swear, I feel like
Justify
Fry the
this to
Soul...
me, Scriv.
I'm pretty sure what we've had happen was, they were dead. Fry was dead.
Uh-oh. Oh,
And
I
then-
wanted something.
Mate, I just, honestly, my mind is just not really comprehended. And then I guess it's like autopilot on the recovery or whatever from, I think it was Psyotic. Either way, they're able to get the finish. It's not as clean as it could have been, but they will indeed get it, and even the setup to 1-1.
Wow, okay. Whenever I see somebody with Scythe just planking a little bit, just hugging onto the wall, you know that they want something a little bit dishonest. They want to go ahead and grab you and just throw you off stage with them, and then maybe try and find a really spike or something. So every time I saw them clinging onto the wall, I'm like, they want this. They're fishing for this, and sometimes you can't find it. So definitely a really safe play to go for.
Well, we got a Rayman. That's always fun. Actually going to move on to that.
How do you feel about the switch?
I think, Rayman's a little cheesy. You get a mental advantage is always the joke because the SIGs are so annoying. Just in terms of the sound that they make. But I don't know. I think certainly can be usable. Stats are okay. Axe is obviously pretty decent in 2s. There are just better legends that do the same, or that have, a similar goal, a similar win condition, let's say, than the Rayman. But always a bit of fun, and, the edge guard, I was just about to say, and thank you very much, Classy, the edge guard on the dancing on the gauntlets can be pretty nasty, actually.
Yep, it's where Rayman really succeeds. As soon as they pin you down in the corner, as soon as they get you just slightly off stage, they can occupy so much space for themselves. But that being said, both of them, both teams just having to make some slight adjustments here, setting up 2 really disadvantageous positions. Fried is just not able to get any of these hits in. They're just not able to get their teammate a little bit of safety, and they're not able to hit, either Psyotic or Seijiro right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of difficulty, I think, in this. And the second finish coming off as well. Yeah, I don't know. They're a lot closer this time around with both Psyotic and Seijiro being into the red. But as we've felt since the first game, into the second, now into this one, control and that 1 or 2 step ahead element that really all you need has always been there for the red team. Beautiful.
Chaotic really
combo
went
there.
all the way out there. Chaotic wanted to finish it early with that gravity cancel, Essig, but you know what? Either way, they need to find a way to be able to make it back. Both of them, nobody's like opting to go through the recovery because they don't want to hit one another, but you need to stall, you need to wait for your teammate to come and help you out, but maybe jumping in a little bit too soon as Soul still finds that KO.
Definitely potential for me. Definitely potential here. This is the dig deep moment. You know, if you want to stay in this tournament, you've absolutely got to prove it right now on the blue team side of things. And they are fighting back. You know, they are getting some hits in, but it's just the fact that the Reds are getting 1 or 2 more. You know, it really is a game of inches at the moment. Certainly feeling that way. We've got the double hammer this time around as well, which is something that, you know, you touched on. We saw a mix-up last time.
It's so
What
explosive,
is that?
especially when it comes to edge guarding and corner pressure, because look at that, no matter how many recovery options, no matter how many times you outmaneuver them, all it takes is one recovery from the hammer to scoop you back down and put you back in your place. So this is starting to look like a huge, huge lead for Chaotic, and Seijigu. This is starting to look a little bit incontestable. So they're going to have to pull a fast one to make this one back.
Yeah, now the gap really is expanding. And I think that the double hammer, especially there in the mid-game, as it were, paying absolute dividends. Looking so damn good. We'll see a Stig catch up, and there's some isolation options here, and weapon toss doesn't help either, that lands onto the teammate, of course. There you go, taking outside Drew. It is something, but they need to try and isolate Psyotic here, and they just look a little timid while doing so.
There was some excellent decision-making and conservative play from Fry. They saw that they were able to get one of the Bodvars off stage, and then they said, you know what? I don't feel comfortable enough with doing this. Their teammate is about to go and stop me, and they went back on. And now take a look. This is suddenly doable, but as Glassy, you gotta play back. You gotta let your teammate frontline. You gotta punish those overextensions because you are gonna be the first one to be KO'd.
We'll see. It's getting a little bit close, you know. Seijiru's just gone into the orange. Ooh, and a neutral landing. Obviously, that's a lot of frames, a lot of damage, and they are now starting to wrestle back the lead a little bit. So
look at this
Psyotic and Seijiru getting kind of nervous. The finish comes in. It's just Psyotic. Somehow, the blue team, Glassy and Friday Soul keeping in it. Great catch from Psyotic. Now just into the 1 versus 1, and of course, Friday Soul is awfully low here. Definitely doable. The kill option is there, and there's so many of them available on Sword. Chaotic just playing it patiently and not wanting to give this game away.
Especially with Scythe, you gotta be so careful right now. You gotta be able to play this back effectively. You just need to get that one big hit. You set up into the edge guard, and you try to go for it all. The recovery gonna be knocking them back onto disadvantageous position. I love that jump over it, and now suddenly that's gonna be Fry with a weapon. Chaotic having nothing to the name, but pushing in a little bit too far. And oh goodness, that toss might have been a little bit... that might have been a bit of a questionable choice.
Yeah, maybe premature, you know, the dodge, and now, ooh, the Starve coming in. We will be back onto the side for Fry. Psyotic trying to catch it. Goodness me, somehow surviving. This is all to play for, really. Super intense at the moment. Nobody wanting to make the mistake of the toss. The desperation is there from Fry, the haymaker. Yeah, man, like, this is getting kind of desperate. From the side of Fry.
Throwing away their weapons, they're getting their weapons constantly denied. Chaotic has no issue playing a little bit patiently, but if you're the first one to swing first with hammer, that could be a bit of an issue. Gets the down light into the down air. They got the close spacing, they reacted on time, they found their follow-up. Incredible stuff to Chaotic. Just quickly cleaning that up. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness indeed. That was a damn good game. Whew, honestly, crazy. That was a massive catch coming in. I mean, so well done, though, I think you have to say, from Glassy and Friday Soul to pull it back. You know? Like, the fact that they were not miles ahead in that game, but Psyotic and Seijiru were a good couple of steps ahead, pretty comfortably in the lead, for sure, and then they just clung on. That final stock from both the blue team players was so good. But we're very quickly moving on, of course, into our next game. So not wasting any time. Of course, we have had a few.
The other side, we have Parallel and Tiffany going up against Walshy and Simba.
Okay. And I believe we're still waiting on the last one, right?
Yeah, the last one we do not have confirmation on quite yet.
But Little Cap and I Throw Ow, they are definitely going to be waiting for whoever pops up there. They'll be trying to do their best to put the hurt onto them. But yeah, we're going to be getting Hardy, MJ, and Meg D back in here. Fantastic players. We saw them do really well not too long ago. And as we mentioned, Zakoi and Ethan might have their hands full, but we'll see what they're able to throw down as well. You can't go into any matchup thinking you're just going to win or that you might have a better opening than them or just better synergy, because that's when everything gets turned on its head. And all of a sudden, you're just losing.
Yeah, so we'll see who they opt to pick, because I feel like, a lot of character predictions don't always necessarily come into play. Everybody, you gotta make sure your pockets are deep so that you have enough experience and variety with every single individual weapon type.
Here we go. We're starting to get these players picked in. Hardy MJ pulling out that Taros once again. The tried but true.
Everybody wants to play
Ethan.
Taros in doubles.
Taros is strong. Taros is good. But we're getting Ethan onto Hattori, Zakoi onto Nash. All right, so they're going to be getting that double spear, but also a hammer in there as well. Going to be trying to rival a little bit of what Taros is going to be doing. So,
yeah, definitely like a lot of duality on Ethan and Zakoi's team, right? You got somebody with a lot of mobility in the form of Hattori, and then you got somebody with big, strong hits like Nash. That's definitely going to be finishing off a lot of interactions, so you definitely want somebody like Nash, frontlining. You want them to be front and center, kind of maybe sometimes acting as a bit of a meat shield, or you can even have them backline so that Hattori can just kind of throw people to you. So let's see if that kind of a dynamic falls into play.
all right, well, here we go. Getting into this game one. Let's see how it all goes down. Zakoi and Ethan, again, will have their hands full trying to deal with this dynamic duo of Meg D and MJ here, but we'll see what happens.
Just jumping around a little bit, trying to find their individual openings. They're still getting a feel for each other. They're still whiffing here and there. But I really, really like the way that Ethan is already just playing so patiently on the back line, just waiting for Zakoi to send them somebody.
Yep. Trying to get a couple strong hits in there. Zakoi is definitely just making their presence known, that's for sure. And as you can see, Meg D's already got so much damage on them already. So Ethan and Zakoi are definitely doing a fantastic job. And there goes that first stock. Will they be able to make it back?
No,
they're working on it. They will. Wow, what a recovery.
And Hardy MJ's presence just made it so difficult for them to continue pressuring Meg D. But either way, they find the KO. Gotta say, wow, Zakoi and Ethan don't even have that much damage on them.
Yeah, no, they're definitely doing a very good job of just kind of establishing the pace here, really making the opponents play to their speed, and they're making them pay for it as well. Oh my God, just sent the white flying. I'm going to hit your own teammate. That's a little unfortunate, but you can still try to keep the pressure down while they make the recovery.
Ethan just looking for that anti-air there, was not able to call out the jump, and a good whiff punish from Hardy MJ is just going to be able to close off that stock nice and even, but wow, Zakoi trying to go for it all out there.
There we go. We got to get Ethan back with the sword. Okay, and they're going to get the spear for Zakoi. They're going to try and put down some good pressure. They got some fast moves here. They try to build up a lot of damage. They got to be a little careful because I feel like Ethan is starting to get some openings, and I feel like Zakoi is trying a little too hard to try and get a team combo in there. Actually ends up hitting their opponent, their teammate in the process.
Oh, and what a finisher with the spear there. All of that attack power definitely coming into play, just helping them finish that one out. So now this is a really, really solid lead, 3-2 to 2-1. This is slowly starting to 2-2 to 2-1, a little bit closer than it was 5 seconds ago. But they just need any way to clean up the stock on Ethan.
Oh my God, Zakoi is just finding these huge openings, just closing out these stocks. Exactly what they need to be doing with Nash as well. But yeah, Zakoi is really dominating here. I know I was just kind of giving them criticisms for hitting their teammate, feeling like they're trying to jump into the fray just a little too much. But once they get their openings, though, on any of these players, they're really making it count.
Wow, and look at this ping-ponging back and forth, just stuck between two spears, constantly getting poked in the eyes. But Ethan, of course, going to be losing their stock there. So this is still doable for Hardy MJ and for Meg, especially considering they got that KO. But they need to find ways to throw them off to opposite sides. Make sure that they don't play with one another.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out from there. But right now, Zakoi on the final stock here. But Meg D's got to be careful. And also, there they go. It just sneezing on him. And the double. Going to be able to clean that up as soon as I mention anything. And there we go, man. We got Nash, Hattori, Zakoi, and Ethan just dominating in that game.
And that's exactly what I mean about like Zakoi or Nash being responsible for all those finishers. When you have such a high attack power, you can just close things off, especially when you have Spear. That is a big, generous hitbox off the sides, and it is quite active, right? So you just got to position yourself under where your teammate is going to send them, and then you scoop them up and find that KO.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Look at the difference here, man. 400 points of damage difference between the two of them. But it's just a little under 400. But that's a lot. The team damage is pretty even across the board, and honestly, it was a pretty even game as well. But when you get a strong start like that, you kind of try to carry that over to game 2 as much as possible. We are going to see a switch from Meg D over onto Maggie, trying to get some of that Walking Dead action in here.
So let's see how this pans out. They're going to be running it right back to the stage. No qualms about it, it seems. Yeah, let's see how this one pans out.
Ooh, they tried so hard to get that weapon pickup, and Hardy just kind of came in here and said, hey, I'll take that, thank you, this is mine.
Ethan just occupying the ground, trying to find a way to be able to scout out Hardy MJ landing, but is not going to be able to do so quite yet. Trying to get as tricky as possible with their movement, but they're just occupying the ground. They're just trying to poke people, just trying to interrupt them and let Zakoi do their own thing.
There we go. Got a good start, though. Keeping him on the left side. They're trying to keep him off stage at least. Oh, you grabbed your teammate. Okay, not going to be too much of a worry, though. It was a little scary, but you're able to keep the pressure on the enemy so that they can't take advantage of your slight mistake. That's exactly what you need to be doing. Oh, that's a first stock right there. Zakoi making a big play.
Once again, the downlight into the sailor, especially when you're stuck between two opponents like that. It is such a nasty place to find yourself in, so you definitely can't blame them for losing that kind of a stock. But Meg D going to be losing theirs as well. 3-3 to 2-2. They need to close this out.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And it just continues to get slightly worse. Can Ethan make it back? No. Yes, they will. With no hassle for Meg D. Probably just didn't want to risk going off stage in a potential reversal situation, which I guess is smart, but oh my god.
I don't think that sidelight was totally intentional. It might have just been like a misinputted downlight, which could have then confirmed into the sailor. So a little bit unfortunate on their behalf. But you know what? Wow. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
let Ethan
that's
go.
What happened. Jeez, Zakoi went off stage and had like one problem and ended up SDing, and it literally just cost his teammate the stock. That is so crazy.
Aw, poor Ethan. He didn't get to play for a second while Zakoi was taking the sweet old time getting back onto the stage. You know, just recovering. Ethan was getting bopped.
Yeah, Ethan was getting absolutely mixed on. But, you know, we're going to try and get in here. Zakoi trying to find a way to help even this up. And just kind of looks like they're struggling a little bit to get their hits in here. While Ethan just is just kind of getting hit here and there. Just some onesies, twosies. But it seems like so far, Hardy MJ and Meg D have been doing a good job of actually splitting these two apart.
Dashing back and forth, maybe trying to fish for that stomp. Sequoias tries to go through the gravity cancel stomp, is not going to be able to find it, just swings them up in the air. Meg D and Hardy MJ stuck in a corner for just a brief moment. They are scrapping through this control.
Ooh, and there goes another stock. Can they find a way to get... Nope, Hardy MJ says, listen, I saw what you did to my teammate not too long ago. Well, we just did your teammate, excuse me. He said, I want no part of that.
Zakoi went for it all with a down thrown weapon into the ground pound. I love the attempt, and it is so lucky that they were able to get a spear back online, back on deck, fishing for that stomp on Hardy MJ. Once again, not going to be able to find it.
There we go. Okay, putting down some good damage here. Hardy MJ gets some strong hits. Not able to get Zakoi, but Meg D comes in for a little bit of that assistance, some of that support.
Is that what Hammer looks like for Zakoi? That is such a silly skin. That thing is so silly.
It is.
The power of
love.
Here
we go. One stock situation, 2v1. And now the good news is that Zakoi here, right? They're the one that's left over, so they got to have some strong hits. And you've got Hardy MJ and Meg D a little bit into the red. So if they're not careful, this could be really bad news for them. But their attacks are a little slower.
That could have been so big, but now they're going to be getting a bit of a ping pong going, is what I would say, until Zakoi just dodges to safety, finds the finisher, and all of a sudden, this is their lead.
Yeah, we got a hammer versus spear at this moment, so that means Zakoi's going to have a little bit of slightly faster attacks. Gonna get the axe, though. They threw their own weapon. Oh, this is going to be very unfortunate. All right, get his hammer.
You know what they want? They want it. They're going for the stomp. They're dashing in. Hammer remains only want one thing, and it's absolutely disgusting.
It is actually disgusting with how hard it hits, how hard it sets up. Look at that, going way low with the hammer for good measures. And hey, you forgot something, sir. You forgot something. Closing up that stock. Wow.
I'm telling you, hammer players only want one thing, and it's absolutely disgusting. They're dashing in and out. Does not matter that you know that it's coming. You know what they're looking for. They want to stomp you. They're going to stomp you, and they're going to hit you into oblivion.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, great stuff so far. I believe that's 2-0 in, Ethan and Zakoy's favor at the moment. We're going to be getting into our final stage here. No switching characters. It's all going to come down to this. Oh, wait, were they not playing Val before? Oh, they went from Val to Maggie back to Val. That's right.
3, 2, 1.
Let's see how it pans out this time around. Zakoy is definitely not to be messed with at all. The ability just to finish off these stocks, so solid, so consistent. It's what they've done game 1 and game 2. Let's see how they can apply it once again in game 3.
Yeah, and I feel like Hardy, MJ, and Meg D, they need to figure out some sort of game plan to either just try to isolate one of them and just try to capitalize as much as possible. But Zakoy, 100%, like you mentioned, is the problem player because they are just finding a ways to just eliminate these stocks at a moment's notice.
Oh, gonna be finding that recovery there. Hardy MJ finds another one and just doing so well despite being without a weapon. But now, when the teammate is not there to help them, Meg D just getting juggled so much.
Yeah, but look at that. As soon as Meg D gets back to the ground, it is back to pummeling the enemy team. And there we go. Going to be able to take that first stock and get the second one set up for their teammate who got sent out there in the first place.
Excellent stuff. And now both of them are going to be deprived without their weapons for a good second there. Just taking a couple of hits.
There we go. Finally getting a weapon for both players now. And there we go. Zakoy, I believe that was Zakoy taking that first stock. Gonna try and find a way to even things up here just a little bit, but Meg D remains elusive.
Meg D just dashing back and forth, just playing in a really, really patient range, waiting for Hardy MJ to throw them a bit of a layup here. Tries to get the ping pong going, but Hardy MJ a little bit too close to Meg D to find that hit.
Okay. Well, here we go. Everybody kind of dancing around here a little bit. Nobody wants to take that risk and get caught up in a very, very awful opening. These team combos between these players have been absolutely lethal. And right there, you just dance around a little too much, and Zakoy will find you.
Zakoy finding the scoop with the recovery there, tries to get something else going. When both of them have spears on deck, their combo potential is so good.
Yeah, look at that. They're using that little helicopter spin to try and keep that pressure up. But we got Meg D with the fist. We haven't seen this a whole lot.
Oh, gets the downer. And Ethan tries to go for the finisher. I love the attempt. I love the recognition. But just maybe initiating a little bit too late. Zakoy going to be getting spiked right down to the bottom blast zone. Ethan getting a weapon for themselves. Just giving the opening that Zakoy needed to pick it up as well.
Yeah, but Zakoy kind of thrives in these situations. Even though they're on their final stock, they know how to get these big hits to close them out. Meg D trying to hold on to this stock here. And, is going to get hit once, twice, 3 times. Right back up to the blast zone. And all of a sudden, they've got the lead once again. Ethan doing a fantastic job cleaning those up.
Look at all of those little pokes, too. Just like that, Hardy MJ going to be put into the yellow just from one interaction that they got 2v1'd in. And Ethan can't make it back from that distance. But you know what? They have a very small lead. Let's see if they can hold on to it.
Good stuff from Zakoy. They took minimal damage in that process where Ethan got sent way out there and was in the middle of respawning. But Zakoy still taking a lot of damage now. Ethan coming in, trying to separate these two, put on some big damage, but now they're caught up in the combo, caught up in the mess.
Waiting for an opening, slowing the game down just for a second. And now Zakoy has Hammer on deck. They got the downer. You know what they want.
Oh, they're going to hit their own teammates off stage. Not their own teams. They're going to hit the opposite players, and they're going to try and duel it out a little bit on the stage there. Not going to survive or last for too long. But there we go. Hardy MJ trying to get a big hit. No! Ethan got hit by their own teammate. The weapon toss, is that going to be it?
Wow, it seems like it is going to be it, but you know what? It's Zakoy not making the comeback as Meg D just found the finisher right there. So, gotta say, all those team hits just ended up adding up at the end.
Yeah, that was that was a little unfortunate. Yeah, that team hit at the end was very crucial. Actually cost them the game, cost them the 3-0 as well, as we get into a 2-1 situation. But yeah, exactly what Meg D and Hardy MJ needed. They needed to get on the board, and they're going to try and find a way to keep that momentum going. Because you can even look right here, right? The damage dealt was clearly in Zakoi and Ethan's favor, and even team damage was on their side as well. Like, it looked like everything was just honestly working for them. It just was that one small mistake at the end from Zakoi, and that's what cost them that game.
So we're gonna be going right back to the same stage as always. They seem to be really content here. Just the biggest thing is you gotta make sure you gotta be really careful with your hits. Make sure you're not smacking your teammate, because you know, it's never from the ones that you expect. Sometimes your own friends stab you in the back. In this case, just swing it in your face with a hammer.
Yeah, wow, immediately Zakoi going in, pummeling Hardy MJ, taking that hammer as well, and trying to get some big damage down. But immediately, wow, they just get split in two, and the Hardy MJ and Meg D are trying to go in these 1v1 situations. You pointed this out earlier. Once they're in the kind of 1v1 scenario, they do pretty well.
Zakoi gonna be trying to find that recovery, finds a Hardy MJ in a nasty position, and is that going to be it? And, oh wow, what an amazing ground pound from Ethan, and that is gonna be it on their stock. Meg D has to make it back from just as bad of a position.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. They used all the resources, and as soon as right before you get back, before you just barely touch that stage, you get sent right back out there once again, looking for that stop. Hardy MJ throwing it out a few times. They're trying to get that going. They want that stock.
Getting poked just a little tiny bit. It seems like Zakoi and Ethan are just in control of the pace so much. Gonna be stuck in a nasty position, but luckily, Hardy MJ got such a low percent, didn't take too much knockback, was just able to mash out of this advantage.
So we're going to lose that first stock there, getting a little too aggressive. Meg D coming in with the assist to try and help Hardy MJ back the stage, and actually going to end up losing that stock in the process. Sometimes you got to dial it back a little bit. The aggression's good and all, but not when it's starting to cost you some key factors in the game. Great stop, though.
Yeah, great stomp, found the sail, gets the recovery, but Ethan was not ready to convert off of it in time, but that does not matter, as they do still find the finisher on Hardy MJ nonetheless. Once again, Ethan and Zakoi's damage output is unrivaled. The way to separate their opponents and just get them to other sides of the stage is to be able to set up those edge guards, and specifically how soon and quickly they clean up those stocks is what's really setting them apart right now.
They're doing a good job here with the spears, too. Like, they know how much space that they can cover and how fast these attacks are.
Wow.
And they're doing a good job. Oh, Meg D! Wow, gonna get spiked there. Unfortunate.
Yeah, that spacing on the downlight, that timing was excellent. And this is starting to look really, really difficult.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for Hardy MJ and wow, excuse me, Meg D at the moment. It was looking pretty solid. You know, they got their first W, but now you're... Oh, no!
Getting hit by this spirit like that always looks so silly, because it sends you in such a nasty direction, and then it's just like, oh damn, I got hit by the handle of a weapon. That sucks.
Because it just goes out. It goes out in that little horizontal way as well, so when you throw it down, it just covers so much space.
He's looking for this hit, gets the recovery, and Ethan just plopping their feet on the stage, not choosing to commit anywhere, and Zakoi, even though they didn't land a hit, all they needed to do was jump out there, and they scared them into SDing.
The end of their run here, but still fantastically played by them. They made one hell of a run today. They didn't go down 3-0, which honestly says a lot more than some people think it does, but it is going to be Ethan and Zakoi moving on in this bracket. Great stuff.
Yeah, no, their synergy was amazing. Their damage output, their ability just to be able to close out those stocks as well. Some of the best. And that means they're going to be moving on to top 8 in what feels like a pretty confident set, honestly.
Yeah, it should be pretty solid as we move forward there. But who do we have coming up next? That is the question.
Down goes Sarmin.
Rain?
Down goes Sarmin, Ollie. Come on.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to this game right now. Like I mentioned, you know, if you're on the side stream, you deserve the most exclusive info. And oh boy, do I have a lot for this tournament. We are seeing Snowball and Shedro, a team that actually took down Pavelski and the Ninja 729. Crazy, by the way. Going up against Hazer, Delta, and Machete, which is a team that I predicted to get top 3 in this tournament. And I actually had a little bit of a mini interview with Hazer as well.
Ooh, all right, hit us, Polly. What you got?
All right, so I did ask you about their confidence, and as we saw, they did get a 5th last tournament, and according to them, they had no 2s practice leading into that. So, you know, I also asked them about what legends they're going to be running, and they They quite literally reply the typical Europe comp, fill in the blanks.
Okay, is that what are we saying? Like Teros Bodvar?
Teros Olgrim, I'm feeling.
Teros Olgrim? Okay.
I'm feeling that one.
Alright. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Alright, yeah. I love that.
more when it comes to the confidence. This is a quote from Hazer Delta. To be honest, I'm feeling extremely confident because I'm not scared that much of Heist and Simple. We've been practicing a lot and I've been improving recently. Also with Pavel Ninja losing practice, I'm feeling really confident.
Wow.
So, yet another team. You know, they got a dream. They really do. A lot of these players. But that's the thing about BCX. Everyone has been practicing so hard. You're only gonna be fighting players when they're at the best state.
Yep, 100%. And you know, though, with that though, it can create a very interesting aspect, right? Because you know, clearly in that statement, right? I mean, that means that Hazer and Machete are pretty much like, okay, obviously, like we're PR9, we're PR8, we're both extremely good at the game. We've been performing extremely well this year, so we should be able to basically beat everyone. Besides, tough matches are going to be like Heist and Simple, right? The thing is, they got to make sure they don't do is they got to make sure they aren't sleeping on Chetero and Snowball.
Oh, yeah,
people who
dude.
popped off in the first set and then just took down Pavelski and the Ninja 7-2-9. So this is loser's bracket. So the winner is moving on. A loser is out of BCX 2v2s. It's about to go down. Chetero and Snowball have been absolutely electric. And I mean, if you have to give the underdog story to anybody in this tournament that you feel like, has an opportunity to basically win it all at this point, based on what they've done so far in this tournament, you got to be looking at Chetero and Snowball. Here we go.
Yeah,
match
man,
number
we
1, best of
this.
5. Right here.
We predicted this, Rain. We predicted this so
We
long
did,
ago.
we
We
did.
predicted all the way back a month ago when we saw him in Brawl League, man. That shit, that's crazy, man. We are going to be rotating into this first game now.
Yeah, their chemistry and their confidence together is just something that's unmatched. I mean, you really don't see it on Brawlhalla, right? We talked about it. Like, you really don't see teams pretty much anymore really go into like one very, very aggro and the other in a like perfect support position. But they've pretty much mastered it. And I mean, coming off the bat, look at the damage output thus far that we have here, Paulie. I mean, they're looking phenomenal here with a huge lead. If they just get this KO confirms here, Chetero looking for the Sarah. Oh, the weapon throw actually saves Machete, but down goes Hayes, down goes Machete with the double KO right there from Chetero and Snowball. And the initial advantage now is for Chetero and Snowball against Hazer and Machete, who again are two players that are ranked much higher than both of them. I mean, technically, I believe this would be another upset, Paulie.
Oh yeah, potentially. And I mean, Hazer Delta, right? The winner of LCQ. Who would have expected to see that guy this far into 2v2? Yeah. Hazer Delta really pops off in 2v2, man. It's looking good, but Chetero and Snowball, they're looking so confident. They're doing so well so far already, just in this first game.
Yeah, they're doing really, really good here. Snowball taking a ton of damage, but the big difference is, Chetero's still holding on to that first stock. Okay, the Sarah comes out, down it goes. Hazer is now at 1 stock. Snowball is going to look to still hold on to the stock. Does miss the recovery punish. Hazer cleans it up. So now we have 2 stock to 1 stock. So we really want to pay attention to Machete now, right? How long can Machete hold on to this second stock while they try to get Chetero catch up a bit as far as the damage advantage currently? But overall, I'm definitely liking Machete and Hazer, getting a comeback a bit here, probably. But, Snowball and Chetero still very in command.
Yeah, it's definitely, one of those things that we have been mentioning so many times. It could be what is going to determine the outcome of this game. Especially now with Hazer all the way down to red on this last stock. If they go down here, that's going to be a difficult 2v1. That's going to be a 2 stock versus... That's going to be a 2 stock versus 3 stock. Maybe even a 1 versus 3.
Oh man, this is it right here. They're going to try to strike in as quick as they can to get rid of this, to make it a 2v1 as fast as possible. Machete trying to save Hazer, but the spot dodge from Chetero still isn't enough, but does have a very bad spot for Hazer now, barely making it back in that recovery. Oh, and Hazer comes in swinging. We're now in a full 1 stock when into a 2v2 situation. Oh, the Nair comes out, man. Oh man, 2v1 starts now.
2v1 starts right now. It's going to be Machete. He's going to have to go into this 2v1, clutch it out for the team. It's going to be tough, taking multiple stomp Sares to the face. Man, they're struggling to even touch the stage. Chetero and Snowball are just not allowing it. There's the sidelight there as well, looking for the kill confirm at this point. Machete is he's playing Bootsies very well so far. Ooh, takes a Sare to the face though.
But it might be too late. Right here. Here comes the dodge. Beautiful. Okay, wow, Machete does somehow make it back once again. And I'll tell you what, man, you know, Machete's holding it on pretty well. If they can just find a way to knock out Snowball or Chedoro here, especially with this Lance. Oh, wait, hold up, wait a minute. Is stage control right now? Oh, goes for N-Sig. Oh no, Snowball goes for the Nair, misses again.
How is Machete alive?
The Dare?
Bro!
The Dare?
He's crazy.
On stage?
Okay, now I'm holding my the recovery. Alright, shut down by Chedro. Nice, quick little recovery. Gonna be taking Machete down. Machete took 700 damage.
Man.
700!
Oh, man. Dude, that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy, and I mean, oh man, for Machete, I mean, you gotta be thinking like, if they
so
can
close.
just get Delta to stay alive a little bit longer here, then you gotta be feeling like, okay, they're gonna be in a very comfortable situation to pull out that dub. But Snowball and Chedoro, you know, they came out swinging. They came out swinging off the rip. They built up that damage advantage off the rip, and that's what they've been doing so well. So I guess we're gonna have to see if Machete and Delta from Hazer are gonna be able to, you know, adapt in this situation. If not, then, you know, we might be seeing a repeat of what we just saw last match. Regardless, though, 1-0, Chedoro, Snowball with the current lead. It is best of 5, so first 1 to 3 wins. We'll be moving on. Loser is out of BCX. Round 2 begins now.
A lot of things can still happen, and it's just up to whoever is able to adapt the fastest, get their concentration and motivation where it is needed, and Rain, like you always like to say, we're just gonna have to wait and see who's hungrier for it.
Yep, exactly. It's BCX, man. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than this. It doesn't get bigger than this. It doesn't get better than this. I mean, this is what you've basically been preparing for all year through each and every single major. Now, you can win any major you want. Chedoro is doing some nasty things off the stage, though. Goes for the Dare, goes for the Sair. Machete is able to make it back, but Chedoro is so hungry right now. Look at this, willing to go unarmed. Now they are switching on the backside. Snowball with a nice D-Light Sair. Not enough to take out Machete, though, still. Oh, but that one will be okay.
This is a lot more even than the last game we just watched, right?
Yep.
It really feels like it, but that's the thing. I mean, when you fight heavy weapons, you can feel like you're winning until you look at your health.
Yeah, right? You're like, oh, wait a second, I'm actually 1 hit away.
Wait, what's going on here? Wait, I don't understand. I took 3 hits. I'm red. Okay.
Yeah, man, oh man. All right, though, so Snowball still holding on to this first stock, which is definitely going to be the win condition here right now, is if Delta and Machete can find a way to get rid of Snowball's stock here, and they do.
There we go.
Damage, and they do have Chedoro in a nice 2v1 situation here. Chedoro taking a ton of damage from these heavy weapons like you talked about here, Holly. And man, oh man, Chedoro's got to be a little nervous right now. This is where we saw where Chedoro really starts to kind of get a little bit flustered, is when Chedoro is able to be on that aggro. Snowball then has to kind of fill in that role, and that's where things really start to get a little shaky for them. Let's see if they can adapt and really bounce back here.
I mean, it's an uncomfortable spot for them, at least if all of our previous theories hold up, which I really hope they do, but Chedro seems to be slowly but surely pulling it back, but Hazer Delta is making it really difficult coming onto them with the hammer. Hazer Delta being a phenomenal hammer player, it really has surprised me that they haven't been playing it that much throughout this game.
Yep, absolutely right now, and Hazer Delta almost taking Chedoro out. We're about to have a 4 stock to 2 stock against Chedoro here. If Chedoro is not able to make it back onto the stage, Hazer Delta doing everything in their power to make sure that Chedoro cannot get back up, and Chedoro with a nice counter there. It's going to take a bit of a miracle for Chedoro to somehow come back in this situation, but if Chedoro can somehow stay alive, okay, they have a 2v1. This is the most important part of this entire matchup right here. Can Snowball and Chedoro build up enough damage?
Oh, nah. No, they weren't able to find anything. Oh wait, is that Chedoro down? No, it can't be, right? Yeah, right. Hazer got a quick little Dare there. That really looked scary.
Yeah.
Chedoro is
still alive.
So damaged.
Chedoro's
They're
still alive,
so
though.
damaged, dude. Like an Endlight, a Sair, a Stomp Sair. Chedoro has to play so carefully now. There it is. That's gonna be Chedoro down, and we're down to a 2v1. But Hazer Delta and Machete are so damaged. This is very clutchable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and definitely now, especially with Hammer going against both Machete, I mean, 1 Dare, 1 Stomp Sair, something that you could do that's not very easily punishable is going to be definitely the key to victory here for Snowball, to find a way to get rid of Machete and make this a 2v1 as quick as possible. Even a side stick could do it. Oh no, but Endlight into Stomp Sair, into the Bowling Sair, into weapon throw, into double weapon throw. Okay, Snowball does
they get
that. That was a lot of damage
Dare?
to Volley.
Like you said, throwing out attacks that aren't very easily punishable. Snowball has been doing that very well so far with these drifting dares, drifting and snares. Oh, they're still alive. That was so close. That was maybe a couple of pixels. Endlight isn't enough either. Snowball will not die, but the recovery options just aren't enough. After a certain point, you'll be knocked off 20 times in a row. You gotta die at some point.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, man, oh man, Machete and Hazer Delta with a very, 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 very strong performance at the end of that matchup to clutch that up once again. Now leading the series 2-0 in this matchup. They are 1 win away from moving on to the next round. It looks like we are going to Shipwreck Falls once again. Everybody is staying on the exact same legend. And you know, the match was close-ish. I'd say it was close-ish, but definitely like anytime Chetero goes down early is when things like start to look very, very gray for Chetero and Snowball. So they got to find a way to keep Chetero healthy early on so they can maintain control.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a really hard task to perform when you're playing against an Olgrim Teros. Like we mentioned with the Solaris and Spectre team comp, you know, they were playing Olgrim.
Yeah.
It's mainly due to that axe. That axe is just able to... You're holding your breath throughout the entire game. Even though you don't got a double Olgrim, I mean, a Teros is just as scary.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's what Teros is probably the most, like, punishing legend in the game, where if you're caught slipping, you can pretty much lose your stock in a heartbeat. And I'll tell you what, right now, I'm liking it. Snowball throwing out a lot more SIGs, what we've seen so far. Both Chetero and Snowball having a much more aggro approach here and having the lead finally, and a much better performance thus far than what we saw in that last one.
Oh, that's going to be Chetero down, though, to a quick little GC light recovery coming out from Delta. Machete tries to go for a Grand Pun on their own onto Snowball. But like we mentioned earlier, Snowball just won't die. Even the side light recovery, the weapon throw, nothing is enough to kill this man.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, they're neck and neck right now, but here we go again. Look at Chetero's health just slowly dwindling away. Down goes Snowball. The 2v1's about to begin. The weapon throws come out, the weapon throw, and now Chetero is going. Oh, Chetero touches
the nail!
Barely by the grace of Shipwreck themselves. Holy cow.
That is exactly what they needed. Snowball finding the KO, tries to go over for the second one. Machete unable to find the punish up of that. Whenever Snowball just messes up, Chetero is there to back him up as well.
And is it 1-1 or is it 2-0 for Machete Hayes? I thought
it is 1-1.
Did Machete not clutch up that first game?
I don't judge Reigns since it's been that close of a game. Like
I don't know. Am I losing my mind? I could have sworn that Machete clutched up game number 1. Is that not what happened?
I don't believe so.
Alright, I'm hallucinating. Alright, all good. That's just how good the Brawlhalla is today, folks. It's getting wild. It's getting crazy. 2-2 current lead right now has in Machete. Currently up over Chetero and Snowball. Basically, full stop lead right now. Snowball and Chetero really have to find a way to somehow get up close and just really... I mean, they just gotta get stage control. That's a big part now. Okay,
what a combo.
Start. That's a huge start.
Good.
Oh no.
Oh, takes a dare to the face. Another one.
Oh no.
This is scary. Snowball to the rescue, but Machete already. And there's the team combo. Weapon throw. Tries to go for the dare. The dare.
Oh,
that's going to be it. What a phenomenal finish. They went for it. That was like 15 seconds of just pure aggression.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so now we're at 2-1. Hazer Delta, Machete, 2-1 over Chetero and Snowball. Okay, awesome. That was, I mean, dude, the chemistry, I mean, the combos that came out from everything in the end. I mean, they literally confirmed the last 2 stocks. Not taking any damage whatsoever. Hit me. What do you got, Polly?
It finally happened. Please tell me Snowball will go Teros. Yes! It's the team comp we saw in Brawl League. They're back on it, Rain.
They are. And you know what I like it? You know, sometimes you got to go to All Reliable. You know, you can practice and, you know, try every comp that you could ever imagine that's going to work for you in BCX and the biggest of stages for, you know, 2v2s. But at the end of the day, sometimes that thing that just works the best for you is exactly what works best for you. So here we go. Chetero making a switch to Hattori. Snowball staying on Teros. And this just might be the switch up they need to bring them back within this matchup. They're currently down 2-1. If Machete and Delta Hayes win this matchup, they will be moving on, where Chetero and Snowball will be out of the tournament. It is do or die right now for Chetero and Snowball. Let's see if they rise to the occasion.
I mean, this is definitely the team comp that would be able to do it for him. I mean, those games we saw are absolutely just unforgettable. But to anyone, because I imagine the majority of people watching have absolutely no idea. Imagine everything you've been seeing up until this point times 3. That's basically how they played that one time.
Spot on.
Yeah, so I'm expecting huge things. I'm excited. This is the perfect comp to be able to reverse something like this, and they've got a good start already.
Yeah, down goes Machete, stock number 1 with another big sig from Snowball. That's what I'm liking. You know, you really don't see Snowball use a lot of sigs. It's more like kind of like rotating dares, or maybe like a little jump there. Kind of hit the pop off. Nice placement by Snowball off the edge, though, to bait out to hit the recovery for the punish. Looking for another one right here, too. You need a Machete. Machete's so scared right now. Yeah, Machete just going straight back up to the map saying, nah, I'm chilling, fam. Hammer off stage, I'm okay.
Mommy, come pick me up. Hazer, okay. One hammer there, all it took. Delta is just ready to protect at any moment whatsoever. Delta is doing an amazing job at that as well. They're both doing an amazing job with these heavy weapons here. It's one of the things that have been helping them throughout this entire game, being able to use them properly.
Yeah, we are neck and neck right now. This is we're definitely seeing a lot more control from Chitaro here. Like kind of before, you know, Chitaro was kind of just like flying around the stage, going left, going right, trying to get some movement, trying to get some hits in, and then ultimately like getting punished on some crazy stuff. Now we're seeing Chitaro have a lot more confidence, a lot more control, and what that's doing is that's allowing Snowball to kind of fill into Snowball's role, where Snowball can have a little bit more freedom to go do that right there. The bait once again.
Good recovery. That was a really unfortunate D-light, but they were able to save that either way. You know, your teammate goes down, but so does one of the enemies. That's really just a ±0, so you should be all right with that. Good recovery coming out as well. They are both Snowball and Chedro are racking up quite a bit of damage already.
Yup. It's definitely it's still neck and neck right now. Like this is definitely gonna come down to Chedaro's stock here. Chedro can kind of stay alive. We basically have a 1v1 on the left side here. Snowball popping off on Delta Haze and flicking back through Machete. So here we go. Dead even. It is now do or die for Machete and Delta Haze. Going against Chedro and Snowball here. Man, oh man. Chedro and Snowball have to win this, or Delta and Machete will be moving on.
Yeah, definitely, and I mean, it's looking super even right now. This could be it. This is the most important game throughout your entire journey, as you mentioned in the intro. Oh, quick little DI coming up, double hammer Ser, stomp Ser into the Ser. That's gonna be messing you up a tiny bit. D-light coming out from Machete. This is gonna be tough.
Seen this before.
Especially, goes for the Sig, not gonna hit anything.
Seen this before, Paulie.
Oh yeah.
Machete thrives in the 2v1s.
Snowball never dies. Snowball never dies. It's something we mentioned earlier too. Snowball, it doesn't matter what Machete do, Snowball will not die. Doesn't find the Ser either. But Snowball and Chedro are struggling to find the punishes, even though all it might take is a true combo. Machete all the way down to red now.
Oh, the Ser! Oh, it barely gets a touch! Oh, this is it though, this is it though!
To the wire. Oh!
Stop!
Was that enough?
Stop!
Was that weapon thrown up? Yes, it was! That's
no!
not a touch! Rain, that's not a touch! That's Hazer and Machete advancing into top 8 off of a 3-1.
How is somebody that good at this?
What? I've been trying to figure this out, Rain. I've been trying to...
What? I mean, dude, you come back to the replays of this matchup, you watch everything, it was so neck and neck. Literally, Snowball and Chedro were in control of that entire match. That was their match to win. It's literally a 2v1. They're all in dark red. Machete with a beautiful backdash into the center. Then right here, instead of going to recovery, where Machete used that recovery there, Machete would have got punished immediately from a dare, but instead throws the lance upward, then rotates under it, forcing then the opponent Chedro to fall under it, which then was able to absolutely capitalize on confirming the KO. That was insane. I mean, what do you think? I'm speechless, Paulie. I can't believe the amount of clutch that I just saw come out of Machete. I need to call Machete, and I need to find a way to get that clutch gene. I want that, and I want to market that. I want to sell that, because that was the most impressive thing I've seen throughout this entire tournament today.
That was absolutely one for the highlight reel. But
match is coming in hot. We have another one. We told y'all, they don't play around in South America. They're ready to go. They give us no time to talk. They don't want us to talk. They just want to play. They want to fight. They want to win. And all we want to do is commentate. So it works out perfectly. Here we go. Game number 2. You have Hyper and Kinda Ackerman going against Maxis 92K and Hanabi. What do you got for us, Paulie?
again, a lot of these are wildcards to me. I don't know that much about the SE region, but kinda Ackerman, we have casted before. I believe we might have seen Hyper, but I definitely remember kinda Ackerman, and you can see them on their level 85 build bar right now, their most played legend. And I recognize kinda Ackerman as a sword and hammer player, so I mean, it works out perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It was really good in 2v2 as well.
Yep. You know, Hanabi and Maxi have definitely been like two players who have really kind of come up more on the scene as of lately. You know, with a lot of their recent placements being some of their best they've ever had, whereas Hyper and kinda Ackerman are just, I mean, they're monsters. They're absolute monsters. I mean, you see it. PR4, PR5, they're 1v1. Absolutely monsters. Here we go.
Are you saying this is the SA equivalent to the new versus the old, like we saw in EU?
You know what? I think you're right. Polly. I think this is. I think this is.
Oh, Jesus! They're not holding back anything. 10 seconds into the game, they're both orange. Max now with red. Jesus Christ, Rain, I can barely believe my eyes.
Yeah, okay.
That's a KO!
Hanabi, down goes Max, weapon throw into GC ground pound. Okay, Hanabi said, no, you're not gonna take out my friend. Yeah, it literally looked like, you know, if you ever stomp on an anthill before, and like you accidentally just do it right, and then you just see all the ants pour out. That is what Hanabi and Maxi looked like when Hyper and kinda just exploded into a combo off the very beginning of that matchup. Man, oh man, down goes Maxi. Hanabi still in a very dangerous spot right now. Hyper and kinda still holding on to their very first stock. Kinda very, very healthy right now. This is, I mean, that was probably the most explosive start I think I've ever seen in a 2v2 match ever.
Dude, who goes into a 2v2 game and is like, alright, so what are we doing first in the game? I don't know, man. Maybe grab the weapons. No, let's 2v2 combo. Like, why not? Why wait?
Combo off.
Dude, this is why I love SA. This is why I love these players as well. Kinda Ackerman and Hyper showing that they are not playing around. They're here for the podium, and that's exactly what they're fighting for. But Hanabi and Maxi aren't gonna make their life easy. You see right here, kinda Ackerman is kinda struggling to take down Maxi, but Hanabi will be going down to their last stock already.
Oh man, I mean, kinda's chilling at 3. I mean, you still have kinda at 3. You got Hanabi and Maxi now each at 1 stock. Hyper's still at a pretty healthy 2 stock. Finally down goes Kyle. Okay, this is what they need.
Jesus.
Holy cow! It's the sign of the X. Do you hear that, Polly? Boom, 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 boom. Sounds like one of those Swedish dubstep beats you keep putting me on. The axe is flying, the double rins are here. Can Hanabi and Maxi make the comeback of the century? I'm not quite sure, but they're on the right path.
They're definitely on the right path. They're racking up some damage. Maxi took a side sig to the face, but Hanabi were just so ready to save their teammate. Amazing GC D-sig. A lesser used option from Bryn, so that definitely shows a sign for Hanabi being very experienced on them. I mean, it's looking promising. I'm getting my hopes up for sure.
Yeah, it's tough. Maybe a little too late, but no! You know, a bit of a oh man.
That's a friendly KO. Yeah. Oh, that's unlucky. That's unlucky. They put up a really good fight though. They got there. They started to stabilize themselves in the matchup.
Yep, they definitely figured out like how to get at least damage, right? And how to at least like get stage control instead of just getting completely tossed back and forth throughout the entire stage. I mean, you look at the replay, pretty much like they got dominated all the way until the last minute of that game. So, you know what? I definitely expect a much closer match here, Paulie. Especially, you know, a big part of that deficit came from that, you know, team combo that literally had both Hanabi and Maxi stuck in it from the very beginning. But you know what? I mean, we are going against Hyper and kinda Ackerman here. You know, PR4, PR5, 2 of the top players in all of SA. So it is a tough task, but if anybody can do it, I believe these 2 young players definitely can.
Yeah, they're definitely showing a lot of potential here, not only as players, but also just in the set in general. I mean, don't count them out just yet, anything can happen, and it's a fact that we get reminded by almost every single tournament.
Yep, 100%. They're already having a much better start here, taking the damage advantage lead early on against Hyper and kinda Ackerman.
Is that a KO?
Hanabi stay very, very healthy here as well, but I don't know. Kind of starting to do what kind of does best. I mean, look at that. Dude goes for stomps there and then immediately rotates into the dare on the other player. That is the difference between a pro player and being one of the best pro players in the world.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, one thing I'm really liking, I mentioned it briefly with Hanabi, but both Max and Hanabi, they use a lot of SIGs, and it seems to be doing them really well. It's something that we mentioned about, was it Sealand and Lazuli that also used a lot of SIGs? Yeah, so that might be a pattern of the dominating teams here.
I mean, if you don't know how to stop it, right? And if you're gonna let him hit you with it, I mean, it's a lot easier to build up damage with SIGs if they let you hit him with it than it is live attacks, right? So if you're not getting punished for it, and your teammate's always in a position to bail you out if you do miss, I mean, heck, keep doing it. But I mean, look at Kinda Ackerman's health right now. Kinda refuses to lose his stock, throwing out Dare sidelines into a rotating Ensig off the rip. Hyper's looking to get the second stop from Maxi once again. But Kinda still, I mean, they're not even trying to take Kinda stock here. Oh, wait, what? What just happened? All
What?
right,
I thought I lagged, and then I realized you had a similar reaction. What? Okay, are we gonna get a replay on that? Did someone die? I hope we get a replay on that. I need that in like 5% slow-mo to just understand what happened.
Oh, what a spot dodge by Hyper there. All right, we're at 4 stocks to 2 stocks. Maxi and Anabi in a better situation than they were last game. So, you know what? Progress is key. All right, now they're in a very, very good situation. They can get this 2v2 going here and build up a lot of damage against Kinda and finally get these KO confirms. They definitely still have an opportunity within this matchup to bring it back. So much movement and station show though from Kinda Ackerman. They just don't have an answer for yet, Polly.
Yeah, this is kind of the point in the game where you have to ask yourself, should we bring down Kinda to 1 stock so we have a more equalized game, or should we just go for the 2-for-1? And Max and Hanabi seem to be quite proficient with team combos. I mean, that's kind of going to be the differentiator if you know, it's going to be what makes you make that decision.
Well, here we go.
Here we go.
You get the 2v1 here. Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, no, it's a 1v1. Okay, this is gonna be tough. Yeah, this is gonna be a whole new level of tough, man.
All right, though, Hanabi, though, rotating with a nice dare into the nair. Now unarming Kinda. Oh, no, the double recovery, though, into the GC sideline. Looking for the backdash. Not enough, though, Hanabi with the rotating Sarah. All right, you know what? Hanabi can definitely do this. Hit a good weapon starve here. Really just keep Kinda Ackerman off that hammer. Oh, Kinda Ackerman got hammer. All right. Oh, nice.
Jesus Christ!
4-piece.
Oh my God! Wait, Kinda Ackerman is really struggling to find hits. Hanabi has it on point! Dude! Oh, takes a dare to the face and a Sarah. Okay. That was one of the best efforts we've seen throughout the entire tournament. That was insane.
Man, hammer tings. Hammer is just one of those weapons again, right? Where it's like, no matter how close you get, once you get to that KO percentage, it just has so many good KO confirm options from dare to Sarah into then everything else that can just literally eliminate, including everything that goes into the awesome SIG kits, pretty much every legend in the game. So, phenomenal second match right there. Kinda Ackerman and Hyper taking it home, now ahead 2-0 against Maxi and Hanabi. So Maxi and Hanabi are still going to stay alive in this tournament. They are going, in fact, to have a 3-game reversal here, have a chance, which anything is possible, Polly, but what do you think is going to be the key to victory for Maxi and Hanabi to bring this back?
Kinda Ackerman. Shut down Kinda Ackerman. They gotta figure out how to kill him. But I mean, it's not an easy task. I mean, I couldn't tell you the answer. I don't think they could either. They're just gonna try to brute force it. You know, that's the kind of mentality that we've been talking about a lot. They have something really good going. They just gotta carry it across the finish line.
Yep, and we are seeing a bit of a legend swap here, Polly, but not from Maxi and Hanabi, which you would suspect. You're actually seeing Hyper and Kinda rotate into the double Bodvar now, Polly.
Are we sure this isn't EU?
Yeah, right? That's what I was about to say that, too. All right, man. Yeah, no, yeah, we are getting the double Bodvar action now. So we have 2 Bodvars and 2 Brins.
I respect it. I respect it. Yeah. I mean, it was working out from Kinda. Hyper just seeing Kinda pop off. It's like, oh, I kind of want to play that now, you know? I think I could be able to pull something like that off as well. We're going to see if that's going to be the case.
Oh, no! I thought GC Ensig might have been enough. So, yeah, this is an extremely important opportunity. Yeah, that was nasty. Hanabi and Maxi do have to win this game, or they are out. So, it's really going to come down to, you know, who wants it more here, right? That willpower comes in, but man, Hyper and Kinda, I mean, they're locked in. I mean, look at this. They're playing ping pong. They're playing ping pong with hammers, Polly.
Oh, yeah. No, are you sure? Yeah, it's looking kind of like golf at the moment, not really ping pong, you know, just swinging that huge hulk of metal across. Oh, no. That could have been huge. Oh my god, I'm getting goosebumps. Every time I see Kinda Ackerman and Hyper cooking up a team combo, I get goosebumps. I can't stop it, Rain.
Yeah, I mean, Kinda wants Worlds. Kinda wants to go to Worlds, and you can tell that Kinda's here to prove something. I don't think Kinda really cares about South America right now, right? Like, obviously, Kinda's here to win this, but I think Kinda's trying to show, like, look, I am by far one of the best players in the entire world, and I'm showing everyone here. I mean, these are top players in all of South America, and Kinda is literally having their way in this match, however they see fit, each and every single time here, Paulie.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, Hyper also.
I mean, look at it, Paulie. Look at it.
Dude,
He's like, Kinda's unstoppable.
He is looking super unstoppable. Hanabi and Maxi, dude, this is gonna be extremely rough to be able to carry this one back. Kinda Ackerman and Hyper, they have so much control.
Yep. But you know what? They're definitely. I mean, I'd say it's probably the closest Maxi and Hanabi have been, you know, throughout an entire tournament match thus far against these two. So it's definitely not a bad situation, you know. But they have to find a way to stop Kinda Ackerman. You know, and the damage is coming out. Kinda has his hammer once again. Hyper on the hammer as well.
There
There goes the stomps there. Oh.
A stomp set to either of Max or Hanabi should be it. You see Kinda Ackerman looking for it, tries to go for the stairs. Hyper managed to get the recovery onto Hanabi. That's going to be all it takes. Looking for the KO now. Maxi trying to debate, but no! They're going to be taking a hit to the face. And that's them out.
Yep, that's it. 3-0. Clean 3-0 sweep for Kinda Ackerman. Man, oh man. And the rest of that blue team there. Kinda Ackerman and that team just played absolutely phenomenal time and time again, as you see throughout these replays. And I just really think that the gist was that, you know, I mean, you know, obviously it's a team game. Hyper played phenomenal too, but ultimately, man, I mean, look at stats. Kinda Ackerman is out of this world right now. Literally out of this world now on all aspects. Absolutely insane, man.
Yeah, they're doing incredibly well, you know. Definitely also their team synergy seems to be working out super well. So I'm very, very excited to see how they develop throughout the top 8 side of things. But Maxi and Hanabi are unfortunately going to be sent home for this one. Go next, Kings. Yeah, definitely. And really don't underestimate Solarson. Solarson has showed us time and time again that Solarson is able to pop off. Solarson will be able to get good placements whenever they get themselves into the right circumstances to do so. We're seeing a very good example of that already in Mammoth Invitational with a 9th finish coming out from Solarson. And I mean, being PR 22, that is absolutely amazing. If we see something coming up like that in this tournament, that could be a fairly large upset. Definitely going to be interesting, and I mean, also going to be interesting what kind of legend Solarson plays, because I do know that Solarson really prefers their Olgrim, but I do know that Solarson has been playing a lot of Sir Roland in the past, and it would be interesting to see if they switch back up. I don't know if that was just a 2v2 pick, but Sword and the Lance are looking very strong right now.
Like you were mentioning, just especially with the pick of the Koji too, right, which has been dominating throughout. We just saw previously on Zyder as well. The Sword pick for them did absolute wonders too. So I'll be interested to see how this matchup actually does face out. I believe the Legends are all but picked, so kind of what we expected, but a little bit of not, perhaps.
Yeah, we're seeing, so Solarson was on point. Solarson rocking with the Olgrim. I don't know which skin that is, but that skin is absolutely beautiful. I might have to go and get that after the stream. Heisen on the Thor, which we know Thor as a very popular 2v2 pick right now. I'm not sure if I've ever seen Heisen on the Thor. They are level 40 on the Thor, so definitely not a new pick for them. It does make sense. Hammer, a weapon that Heisen is incredibly comfortable with. And for the ones that don't know, there is some discussion throughout the community right now about Orb. A lot of people are underestimating Orb, and a lot of pro players are trying to get into playing more Orb. So this might be Heisen's time to shine if players haven't been ready to adapt to this new meta yet.
I don't know about you here, man, but every single time I play this game, I'm actually personally a big fan of the Orb. I find that the follow-ups you can get, and just with the free combos and all the consistent hits, are definitely underrated too. Like, there are definitely a lot of just solid and consistent true combos you can continue off the sidelight. But for now, we're talking about these axes that both these dudes got here, so some big hits coming up.
Big hit so far, round and round. Heisen finding some of those heavy aerials too. We're seeing a fairly slow game coming out so far. Both these players trying to look and get as much damage as possible from these interactions. Both players now looking for the kill confirm. Heisen trying to find that stomp, but Solarson just isn't giving it to them. Tries to go for the dare instead. Solarson instantly ready with a D-light. but the dash jump Sair coming out from Heisen is going to be enough to take down Solarson, and Heisen is now at a very slight advantage here. But the thing is, Orb is incredibly good at racking up a lot of damage quickly. If Heisen is able to find a good string, that could be so much damage secured.
But up against the Axel, it would be just so extremely hard. Just one, but literally any attack into a second one would immediately launch him off the board because of how much damage he's taking. Or is a little bit heavy, man. Oh, wants to throw it, but gets the axe back. Good read so far, gets his spacing, and now just barehanded. He's not. He doesn't even care.
That D-Sig actually isn't going to be enough to take down Heisen. Going in for the combat again, Solarson still just looking for these killing blows, but Heisen, being incredibly experienced with the axe himself, he knows exactly what to avoid in a situation like this. He knows what Solarson is looking for, and he knows that he is going to be able to outspace it. Solarson still trying to find it. I mean, this, it is all happening kind of slowly right now, but Heisen is actually looking at slowly and steadily racking up this damage. If it continues like this, that's looking really solid.
Yeah, this is really interesting so far. It's been kind of a very technical game, especially for Heisen, considering he knows he cannot afford to take any big hits, so he's been playing really well around him and also Solarson's spot dodges, just to consistently be able to get small hits one after another and comboing that into weapon throws just to save Solarson as he follows up on him or stays away. Solarson has been giving him a lot of space, and Heisen's been taking that for free. It's just that easy.
Jesus. Yeah, Heisen is definitely playing the marathon game right now, and oh boy, they're doing it absolutely amazingly so far, with Solarson almost getting knocked down already. Heisen going for it, Solarson able to find that recovery. Heisen will finally be going down, but Solarson is incredibly damaged. Like I said, Heisen, incredible job at playing that marathon game. If we keep looking at a performance like this, I mean, a full lead stock, this is looking incredibly solid for Heisen.
Yeah, this is kind of phenomenal with the way they played, that second stock, especially Paulie. So, Heisen right now, if this is the game they continue to play, I find if I'm Solarson, I've gotta read him a little bit more, or just try not to get tilted. Because if I'm playing him right now, bro, I'm fuming.
Solarson, though, one thing I do like to mention, we've seen a lot of pop-off plays for Solarson. I just have a funny feeling Solarson is one of those players that's incredibly well at just being, okay, I'm losing, let's take 5 deep breaths. Okay, we go again, and then succeed in what they're doing. Solarson's still trying to do that, but Heisen is just way too good so far in this matchup.
He's just moving around everything, but as I say that, there's a couple big hits right to the face so far. Solarson right now, not in too bad of a position, but they would have to go for a really nice string and just try to go for the kill as soon as possible if they are to have a chance in this first set.
Could be it. Ooh, recovery just barely missed. Solarson found that dodge. Goes for the Sair, goes for a second one, but Heisen was ready. Goes for the recovery. Weapon throw. Will be going down. Tries to, but Solarson denied that with the weapon throw. Beautiful play there from Solarson. That probably saved their life, but not for long. Heisen able to find that Sair later, and a 2-stock win is going to be resulting this in a 1-0 so far for Heisen throughout the set.
I just want to talk about the second stock, bro. He
yeah.
didn't manage to get touched almost the entire time, and just like you were mentioning, carefully planning and going according to whatever hits he can truly confirm, and only going for those. Just playing that beautifully.
Man, I love BCX. Why is BCX always the tournament where we see the most wacky picks coming out from players? This is beautiful. I mean, yeah, but for the, oh wow, Heisen didn't use a single signature. I also saw that just now. That really also goes to show that Heisen is really trying to play for the long run. You can't allow yourself to get punished, especially not, man, that game development graph is looking absolutely insane coming out from Heisen.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's really crazy.
Yeah, the charts went up and up and up as he got into the second stocks, but first weapon taken away. Solarson, can he do anything off of it? No, the orb immediately for Heisen. Like you mentioned before here, Paulie, right, the orb damage, the way it can rack up is huge, but up against the Koji, should be able to match that.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk about really briefly earlier. BCX is the tournament where you will be seeing a lot of wacky picks, and we're seeing Solarson on the Koji right now. Now, I'm not sure if I've ever seen Solarson playing Bow, but the thought of that definitely makes me happy. Gonna be interesting to see what Solarson is able to do with that. Solarson, incredibly good sword player, but they're really struggling to find the hits. We're seeing it again. We're seeing it again. We're seeing it again, Ravish. Heisen does not want to get hit.
Heisen does indeed.